Ladies and gentlemen, get comfortable. It's going to be a lot of fun. Welcome to the Pan American Black Bass Championships here in beautiful New Brunswick.
Hey, welcome back to the Pan American Black Bass Championships here in Nakiwik, New Brunswick. Man, oh man, what a day yesterday, Joe.
Speechless.
Oh man, we are here. We're going to be running live. We got some special guests. We got some folks out on the water. We got some good camera guys now with Team Canada. Of course, we always save the best for last.
I know it.
But we had some great weights yesterday, man.
Oh.
I mean, it's you know, when we talk about it, even every team it comes in and fishing is unbelievable.
I know. They and there were 17 largemouth brought in. 17.
Yep, the very first one ever weighed in the province. We had a two 4.5s.
Yeah.
Largemouth, or three 4.5 largemouth. However, the lunker of the day was a 4.92 smallie.
Big
smallie.
I got a report this morning that a Team USA boat had over 13 pounds for 3 fish.
I heard that. Yes, that's crazy. That's a 20-pound bag.
That's scary.
I called 19. You called 20?
I called 22.
22.
I've seen what lives in this river, and I know that the potential for a big bag is there, especially this time of year when they're on that bait.
Well, and what happens is that we're just waiting for that trigger.
Yeah.
Fall trigger is just delayed a little bit. Although, right here in the marina yesterday, they had the all-wise pushed up. There were seagulls just going crazy.
Yeah.
And young Theo went over there. First cast got a 3.5.
I got a great video of it, too, when I walked over there. I couldn't believe it. It was one of the Puerto Rican boats was on his trolling motor because he had some battery issues. And he fished around the marina, but he didn't go into the beach area.
Yeah.
And little Theo threw out there and caught that big one. So
yeah, it's crazy, and that's fishing, right?
Oh yeah.
So we've got the Zoom links on the go. We've got a bunch of guys with the Team Canada. We're going to be bringing up
we've got here this morning.
We've got Zoom links on the go. I've got tournament directors lined up for a little chit chat. We're going to be bringing up. We got a lot to go on. Why don't we have a look out on some of the zones? We got some guys with some fish on right now. Let's pull that up and see what they're up to. Certainly looks like
USA. Joey.
Yes, sir. Let's see what
Cowboy Cifuentes.
Cowboy, yeah, man. These guys are hammers. It's unbelievable. So let's see what they got on the go there. You know, they had a big bag yesterday, and
looks like they've got some connectivity issues happening there. Little spotty cell phone service.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. It's a little spotty. We do that so nobody can see where they're fishing. Right? I don't want to let them know.
Is that that's not Joey. Is that oh no, they're just showing up the weights.
Oh yeah, they're just putting up weights on there.
Yeah. There was a Woolastook guy that had a cowboy hat on too.
Oh, was there?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not reasonable. The First Nations wearing a cowboy hat?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's good. That seems just that well, nowadays you can identify as anything really. I identify as a smallmouth bass with a large mouth.
Yep.
So that's me. That's just what I do. Anyway, it's all good. We're here live, folks. This is going to go on all day today. We're going to go 10 till about 12 o'clock. We'll take about an hour break, and then we'll be back on.
Look at the precision.
Oh.
They got that fish in the box so fast, and they're right back to the scope.
Yeah. I'm always like that. I bring a lunch with me in a tournament,
right,
and I eat it for supper. I don't even want to stop. Sometimes I'll stop when I get the Dirty Bird on board and have a few chunks of good KFC chicken, but very rarely. So there we got we're watching. We're going to keep these Zooms going. What do you think about the overall fishing yesterday in terms of everybody got a limit? Like, is that normal for these kind of events when they're held in other countries?
No, it's not. When I've traveled to some reservoirs and some river systems that are controlled by tides and dams and fluctuating water levels, and there is certain times of the day where you just don't catch them. If you go to any of the eastern seaboard tidal fisheries that are brackish to fresh water, there's a very good chance there's a long period of time where you will not catch a fish.
Okay.
Last year at the 2 years ago at the Bassmaster Open on Chesapeake Bay in Maryland, they 2/3 of the field zeroed on day one.
Wow.
So to come to a place like this with 57 billion smallmouth,
it's growing every year. It was 37 billion and started yesterday, then 42 billion before we got off the air. Now it's 57 billion.
Yeah, everybody's going to catch them.
Those
Everybody.
must be the horniest bass in the country. They're freaking procreating everywhere.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, it is a fabulous fishery. Yeah, and so that we see some guys. Oh, we got look at this team. Puerto Rico's at her. I did talk to some of those guys, and that would be. We talked to a bunch of guys yesterday, and they really gave kudos to Nakawik Millville and the community and the work that these guys are doing, and it's a great setup. The sun's supposed to come out this afternoon. You're pointing. What are you pointing at, my man? Oh, yeah. Well, look at we're watching the live, so I know where these guys are.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on in front of us now. Guys are catching fish. We're looking at a live scope.
Yeah. Yeah, we moved some camera things around. We got our camera boats out. Ron's on his way out. Moose is on his way out. We put young Easton Whalen, like young Easton. We had to put him. We put him on with Coop Gallant and Jeff Guffison. Easton fishes the tournaments here with his dad, and that kid was just smiling ear to ear this morning as he's riding down with the team, right? And
Josh Weaver and Joey Cifuentes just caught another nice one. Like these boys are on them. This is cool.
Yeah, that's great though, eh? So anyway, Easton, I talked to him, and I said, listen, just you're there to take some pictures and stuff, but man, enjoy yourself. And Coop and Gus, they're so nice.
Yeah.
They were like, no, that's great.
Yep.
Yeah, bring the kid on board, and that's great, and he'll do some filming. And young Easton's got his own like a high-speed camera and a video. So he's got a lot of stuff there. So he'll be getting. He goes, I'm allowed to take filming for myself. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yep.
Man.
Yep.
And people don't realize when we have these kind of events.
That's a big fish.
This is what we want, right? So you're showing a big one. Oh
yeah, Moose is driving right now. But USA just put a really nice bass in the box.
Yeah.
And Joey's got another one.
They're culling there.
Yeah.
They can't cull fast enough.
No, they can't. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
The boys better catch him today.
Yeah, I interviewed Gus and Coop, and I'm like, we need a Wayne Gretzky moment or a Sidney Crosby gold medal score in the last period here.
I was in the captain's meeting, or the team meeting last night, and the guys are fired up. They know what's at stake, and Cooper said, boys, we just need to catch him better. And Cooper said, if you guys don't think that this team on USA is going to catch them better than they did today, you got another thing coming.
Yeah, those guys, think of the caliber of some of these angles.
They learn in the moment.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to fish stuff today that they learned yesterday. And every day it changes. And it happens in any fishing situation in the fall when these fish are in a transitionary period. It's changing by the hour. And these guys are masters at adapting and fishing what's in front of them and learning their environment as they go.
Yeah, I was talking to Coop and Gus, and they yesterday afternoon they hooked a big one late in the afternoon. But what they did find, they're going to start the same place this morning where they finished, because they learned what they learned yesterday. They think they can really bag them up there later today, as long as the fish cooperate.
Well, there's big ones down there, and I believe that part of the river is bigger. It fishes a lot more like a lake. You don't get as many fish, but those isolated pieces of cover offshore, the odd tree stump, the odd lay down log, and that transition water, that 10 to 20 feet of water seems to be where the bigger bites are coming from. There's a lot of small fish on the bank right now, but I think the guys that can key in on that offshore structure and those fish that are transitioning from shallow to deep or deep to shallow. I did hear there were some fish that needed to be fizzed yesterday, so I mean the mortality rate was great. Everybody took care of their fish. It was very, very well run. We had Acadia University was here, and they tagged a bunch of fish, and they did their studies, and they live released everything, and everything went really smooth.
Yeah, DNR was here, folks from New Brunswick, and one of the fish had a tag, like a telemetry transponder in it, and the stitches were still in the fish.
Wow.
I thought for sure those guys are throwing weights in that fish, but apparently it's very, very legal after we, almost killed them. But no, it was okay. And so DNR was here. They were collecting the data. So we had the data on the largemouth, location information, pretty good creel information, which is always a struggle when a guy is competing for a country or an event to try and take the time to document your creel as you go. So the way we do it here in the province normally is we get a guy beside the thing asking a few questions, and like all anglers, we try and give them the information, but, we're really only guessing.
That's right.
So this real-time information is really important.
There were a lot of teams that surprised me yesterday that did remarkably well. There was a Mexican team that did very, very well. There was one of the Chinese teams is way up there on the leaderboard right now. They got
into some nice largies.
They had the 490, the 495, I think it was.
Yeah, it's crazy. You talk to these guys and they just this is an incredible fishery. So when we look at this, Joe, you fished all these pro events and everything. Do you think the fishing, I generally had felt that the second day is a lot tougher fish, but I'm hearing some guys out there are banging them hard. Is that a normal thing, or am I just the stupid recreational angler?
No. I think there definitely is some merit to that, but I think with this caliber of angler, these guys are going to learn it goes right back to what you learn in game time. I think the recreational tournament angler they
put them on live.
Will tend to fish a lot of the same stuff because it's comfortable, right? And they'll base a 2-day pattern on
look at this
stuff they practice. We're here with Coop and Gussie.
This is Coop and Gus live. They just stuck a fish in the camera's face there.
Yep, and threw it back.
And that's a nice boat they're on there.
That's a beautiful boat. That really is.
That's a good one. That's the Patterson Miramichi Marine host boat. Boys are looking after.
It is a big boat.
It is.
It's a beamy, it's a tuna boat with a bass boat deck.
It's what I love it. I really do.
It's great. Gussie won a classic out of that same model. They're in their element. They're comfortable. Look at Cooper just sitting down. We should have got Cooper one of these Yeti chairs.
Yeah. Well, maybe he'll be in one.
Maybe.
It's a hot seat, maybe. Yep. Yeah. There's some comfortable. I know that.
I don't want to leave.
There's 3 of them, but do we only give 2 away?
Yes.
Oh, well, then maybe I can lift one before I get out of here.
Oh, see.
Yeah, no, there's Coop. I got to say, I've been traveling with Coop and Gus. I got to the airport with them. I've been with them as much as possible, trying to look after them. And, 2 damn nice guys. Every person that comes up to them, you want an autograph, you want a picture. Never once did they kind of give you that, geez, you're bought. Just totally embracing this, and to think about the fact that there's no money in this.
Yeah.
They're volunteer. These are elite anglers who rely on fishing to make a living. And Gus was telling me last night, he was going back up to his room because he bangs out articles. He's been a writer for
outdoor Ontario Outdoors magazine. So he wrote a really nice piece on this event.
Yeah, so he's been, he's banging that out. So, for them to take the time to come down here to New Brunswick and support Team Canada, that's a big ask.
It's massive.
And, boys, those guys are embraced.
So grateful they're here. I had a chat with Coop's mom, Kelly Gallant, yesterday during the weigh-ins, and she actually made me cry because Coop and I are from the same hometown.
Okay.
And we went to the same high school. We're like 15 years apart in age. We skateboarded on the same streets, and we snowboarded on the same hills, and we walked the same creeks to catch fish growing up. And when I met Coop when he was 14 or 13, and he followed us, and we took him around to tournaments, and he jumped in the back of the truck to go to club events, and he was just when people ask me about Cooper, they ask me what makes him so much better than everybody else just to catch, because he's won so many major championships in Canada. He actually qualified through the Bassmaster Opens to fish on the elites.
It's crazy.
I don't want to take anything away from Corey and Chris and Gus. They got invited after the FLW shakeup, and they belong there because they were
Absolutely.
three of the most dominant FLW tour anglers at the time. But Coop went the open route, which is the hardest route to make it in professional fishing, because you got to compete against all the local talent.
Yeah.
You got to compete against all that, the open level pros that are chasing that circuit around with the dream of fishing in the Elite Series.
Yeah.
And you got to qualify, and you got to perform in a grueling 10 tournament schedule on the Opens against 200 other pros on some of the hardest bodies of water in America. And Coop, he almost qualified in his first year fishing one division. He was one spot out of it.
Oh, man.
And the next year he made it. He qualified. So I couldn't be prouder of that human being. He's such a fine young man. He's a gentleman. He's an ambassador of the sport. Gussie lives in Kenora, which is like, I can drive to Texas from my house in faster time than it would take me to get to Gussie's house. But I've known Gussie for years, and I can't say enough about him. He's just
one thing I noticed about Coop, he's so polite.
Yeah,
these are
really
polite people, and like I take a young guy like that. That's kind of rare. So
yeah,
Kelly and his dad, they've done a great job of keeping those boys in line, and they're out there today and all day yesterday filming.
Yep.
Filming Coop and Gus, and Coop does a good job in all his videos and multi-species and all these sort of things. And I'm talking to him, and when you think about the pros, they got it, and it's a grind, man.
Oh,
this is
without question.
This is not all glamorous. I'm trying to make it more glamorous for them by making sure they get their coffee in the truck and But and the other comment that we heard from Gus was he felt like this is the Bassmaster Classic.
I know. I was sitting down in the Yeti chair behind the marina watching the blast off this morning, just taking it all in while you were down on the dock doing the interviews, and Moose was up here at the broadcast station, and I heard Coop say that, and it gave me goosebumps, 'cause it just goes back to the people that made this happen. Our partners, New Brunswick, Capital Region Fredericton, Destination Nakawik, Yeti, BKK Hooks, Dorian Patterson's, CISA, the Atlantic Canada Corporation. Everybody stepped up, and all the smaller local businesses that came out to support, and all of our volunteer hours to have a guy at that level in professional fishing that is on the water 300 days a year, traveling to all corners of North America. And then filming his YouTube product, The Catch. If you have not seen Coop Gallant's YouTube product and you want to watch exciting, fun, multi-species fishing with giant muskies and sturgeon, he did a South Africa trip where he was catching, I don't even know what kind of fish they were in South Africa. So it's all on his YouTube channel. I mean, you got to check it out if you haven't. I mean, the guy is the future of the sport. And we were talking about the averages with the four boys.
What do we got here?
That's Rick Cool and our buddy Jason Hines from Team Canada.
Oh, they got
Rick
the net out.
Up with a good one.
They got the net out.
He's been sitting on that point for quite a while. I think he's been scoping around that point. He hasn't really moved.
Yeah, I actually took you to that location.
Oh, that's a good fish.
I took you to that location there just when we were up on Saturday. That was just that we were just below that, and we ran into Dave Chung.
Oh,
so it was just above that. Remember, I was telling you where the MB Power does all the wood.
Yep.
What do you think? A lot of wood.
Yep.
Same spot.
Hopefully they're not downwind of the chicken farm today.
That chicken farm, yeah. No, I think we put a hurting on the chicken yesterday with that meat medley barbecue we had on the go.
We just went across the road and had breakfast before this broadcast, and I took the volunteers out for breakfast. They've worked so hard. They were up at 4 a.m. And we went to the Riverside pub, and they're open on Saturday mornings. Right
Waterfront
here in
pub.
Waterfront pub, right here in Nakuik. And, that's a great upgrade.
Yeah, that's a good upgrade right there. You're not measuring them.
No.
That's just like, that one's gone.
Keep the ruler away.
Yeah. I always, it's funny that you say that when the Lions last night, the Lions Club, the community, the curling club lunches, Coop and them were telling me that, oh man, is that bread sweet? And it was that brown molasses bread.
Whoa.
The community got together to make bread.
I know.
Like to make enough bread.
160 loaves of bread.
Yeah.
The community of Nakuik Melville made.
Yeah.
I can't even.
Well, I
can't even imagine that. It was like a whole bunch of people making bread.
We can go to Ron and them. It's good. Yeah, I don't know.
I think we're gonna go to Ron and Pat on the water.
Well, they look like they're ready. We'll screen. Yeah,
they did such a great job yesterday.
Oh yeah, that's Mac and Meyer for hire. Them two guys.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. Day 2, Pat. We're out here.
That's right. Another beautiful day on the St. John River.
Hey, you know what I heard this morning? We got Team Wabanaki, one of the First Nations right behind us. They might be catching fish there. We just put in. So we were out here yesterday. Yep. We got a few teams, some good nations out here. Some big weights came in yesterday from the U.S. and Canada. So those seem to be the two teams to beat.
Right. It seems that way, but Moose was even saying that someone that's down in 9th position could pop up quite quickly. This is what I'm learning. So, we'll have to see, won't we?
You know what? I heard this morning, we're going to go that way shortly, but one of the U.S. guys has 3 fish for 13 pounds.
Already?
Yes. Oh. That's quick. So they had a really good strategy. I interviewed a couple guys this morning, and, they were on the phone yesterday. And that 4 guys had their 14, 15 pounds, and that was the goal.
Right.
And then the rest of them stopped fishing.
Really?
And they went looking.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right.
And the team strategy is pretty smart, right?
Yeah, that's very smart. So, once you have a certain weight in the bag, then you can try to get a big one or two.
Well, this is it.
Right?
And then you're not burning fish for today. So they're pretty smart. They're saving fish for today. So that's a pretty good strategy.
And I just learned, I didn't realize that you weren't allowed to talk to anyone in other tournaments. Like everything's, you're just not allowed to find out, not even to talk to a local about where you should go fishing and things like that. So to be able to be a team, and that's what you need to be, you were saying, to win, is to be the team effort that has to produce the weight to win.
And it seems in these events, the best team that works together wins.
Right.
And I know Canada's doing a really good job. They're right on their tail. They got a 5-pound deficit, which is pretty, that's a strong lead for this body of water.
Is it really 5 pounds?
Yeah, I think it's 5, I believe. Even if it was 3,
right?
That's a tough deal because, the average weight that's coming out here is 14, 15 pounds.
Right.
And if you get a 17, 18-pound stringer, you're there.
Right.
Right. So the way those U.S. guys worked, once they got that weight, it was like, let's lay back, save it for tomorrow. And I think the Canada guys are doing the same.
Now, forgive me because I don't know how it all works, Ron.
I'm never forgiving you.
But so would Canada have to produce 3 pounds or 5 pounds higher than what the U.S. did yesterday, type thing, in order to put them on par?
Right.
That's how it
100%. So what you got to hope for is one of the U.S. guys, the 4 that they're going for, doesn't catch them today.
Right.
One of the Canadian guys catches 3 pounds difference today.
Okay.
And then it evens out. But you also got those back teams. The team that caught 10 pounds yesterday or 12 pounds yesterday, and they come in with an 18, 20-pound stringer today. It makes up for it.
Okay.
So they're going to be hard to catch up to, but if any team that could, it's Team Canada. They got a lot of the really best anglers in the world on their team. So
right.
We're going to see what happens.
Well, that's good. That's good.
What do you say? Again, we run down. The clouds are going to clear. Go for a little boat ride. Maybe have a sandwich.
That sounds like a great one. We're not allowed to fish. It's very hard not to fish out here. Let me tell you.
It's killing me.
But yes, but that sounds like a great plan, Ron.
What do you think?
And I honestly think we make a good team. So that means that we're winners, you and I.
Right on.
Right?
You know what? I think if we were to be able to fish this together, we'd be on top.
Well, you would catch all the weight, and then I'd say, let's go look, and maybe off that point right there.
Yeah. Well, once we got our 22 pounds or 25 pounds, we could just lay back and get some sun, maybe.
I'd let you do the work, I think, yes.
Well, I don't know. You know what? We got to go fishing one day.
All right, sounds good to me.
You know what? We do.
Yes, in the Mirror Machine.
Okay.
We can go.
Yes.
That sounds like a good
Oh, buddy, you would love it. You would love that. So let's go find some U.S., Canada. We just need to find those teams that are doing well. And if they're doing well, we got to kind of hang back. They're not going to let us go right up on them. But we'll get close enough to see what they're using.
He's outside the pipes.
I mean,
he's not in the inside.
What I need to know too. I want to know.
I would like to know.
So the interviews this morning, I heard that the guys that are getting the bigger weight aren't catching a lot of fish like every other team. Mm-hmm. Every other team's catching, tons of fish. But they're catching the bigger ones.
Right.
And they're very few. So what do you say, bud? Let's load up, get this boat down the river and go have some fun.
Sounds good to me, Ron.
Back to you guys.
Okay, the boys are on, eh?
Great job, guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Ron and Pat. That's awesome. We're watching some fish being caught on. Man, we're like, look at the size of that one.
Mexico just put a tank in the box. USA just put a monster in the box.
Oh, man.
Coop and Gussie just caught 3 in a row in front of us.
Oh, man.
And Gussie put one on the scale. It went in the box. It was a really nice one. Trey McKinney caught a big fish. And beside that riprap where Team Mexico was, I think that was Gonzalez, but he caught a very large one.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks
like that fish looked like a 4-pounder.
Yeah, it looked big. It's hard to tell from here, and but if they're putting them in the box, that's a good sign. Nope, Trey's hooked up again. Yeah. Oh, they got the net out too. Oh. Yes, sir. Oh,
nice
the net.
Fish.
There you go. Oh, no, that's
3, 2.5.
Yeah, 2.5. It's nice. It's fun, though.
Trey's just McKinney's just a little guy. He's just a little, I don't think he's 5.5 feet tall.
Super nice guy. I was talking to him last night.
Kid. He won a Bassmaster Elite Series trophy.
Wow.
The youngest in history.
Wow, eh? Good for him.
I never had that kind of bank account when I was 18 years old. $125,000 sitting in my bank.
Yeah, pretty good, eh?
Wow.
Well, it's here we are back. This is Team Coop and Gus again. That's good. I'm glad we're getting some. We put those guys. So young Waylon is there. He is. He's doing a good job, eh? Like he's got him on. He's got him on. And then let's see who they're talking to. Well, doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we're gonna get Pete and Ange up here for a bit in a second, and have a chit chat with them. They've been on the water. What, 2.5 weeks now? I think they're filming 3 or 4 shows. We'll find out here in a minute.
The longest road trip in Fishing Canada's history.
And it's their 40th. They're filming next year their 40th
next
season.
Next year is their 40th season. So they'll be filming in their 40th season, and they're going to air this show in their 40th season.
Wow. What a celebration of fishing, as my friend Joe Ford told me.
The celebration of fishing.
Yeah.
I love it.
It is great, you know what I mean? And we were talking. I talked to Bob Izumi this morning. Now there's a legend too, who's been doing this, and he said, "Listen, boys, it's top notch. This coverage that Roar is doing, the live cameras, and here the first time in New Brunswick, this is awesome. We're so happy to be here, and and happy to have you folks listening.
Columbia's messing around with a picture, and they just lost another fish.
No.
Yeah.
Take a picture.
Yeah.
No, you need the actual fish to weigh in. Pictures don't weigh very much.
That's a nice one.
Especially when they're digital. Like, remember in the day, at least they weighed an ounce or two, but today they don't weigh anything. But some tournaments actually do catch, photo, and release, so maybe they thought they were in the wrong tournament. Like, I don't know. Anyway, it looks like, I mean, every camera that we're looking at right now has somebody catching a fish. Hey, we got an opportunity. I think Moose might be ready. I'm going to just check with the spaceship. Is Moose looking good?
All right, so we just caught up with Team 52.
Okay, let's do the switch
in the
right now.
Dominican Republic, and we were cruising by and noticed that they were fishing something a little bit different. If you look and see that there's an outflow here, and I think I was told, I'm not 100% sure, Will, come on up here, that this is the trout hatchery outflow?
It's a fish hatchery. They have a lot of local species they release here for conservation stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of outflow from it. There's a lot of stuff for panfish and stuff like that, bait, and then bass, all that stuff.
There's food. Yeah. The outflow provides a lot of food, and just looking at the live scope, you know what's nice about today? We can talk about what we're seeing because we don't have to worry about people,
awesome. It's
seeing it for a third day. But there's a lot of food at this outflow, and we were cruising by, and these guys hooked into a giant fish. So to me, it looked like it was about 3.5, 4 pounds.
Somewhere
possibly.
in the 3-4s, I'd say.
Yeah,
it was a beautiful fish.
Very good fish. So Team Dominican, boat number 51, actually. Boat number 51. So we're going to try to get a little closer and see if they will show us what they caught. But as you can see, there's only one guy fishing. The other guy's controlling the boat because they're on a very specific. Yeah, there's a lot of current. They're getting pushed around and thrown around. I don't want to bug them too much, but this is a big fish. It was a really big fish. So, yeah, I know they're sitting in the 40s, I believe, but you never know. Guys can move up. Guys can, fall off. Anything can happen. We're going to stick with these guys for a little bit and see if we can't get them to catch a fish on camera. That'd be really cool. It just makes sense with all that food coming out, right?
Fresh
Is this a local hotspot?
Local hotspot, yes.
Oh my goodness. We're gonna go back to you guys, but I'll let you know if they are gonna. But if they're gonna catch a big fish, we're gonna come back to them.
Wow, lots of fish. Look who we got here in Nakawik, the Fishing Canada team. Oh, my geez. I can't believe I get to control the narrative now.
Every time we've been with Jeff, he's controlled the narrative, just to let anybody know, okay? So don't let him BS you here, okay?
This is great. Boys, we so much appreciate you coming down, and you guys have shown so much love to the East Coast over the years. You were out on the water for a couple of weeks. You've been chasing around the boys yesterday. What do you think?
The same thing I thought 3 years ago, 4 years, and 5 years ago. It's just an unbelievable fishery. What do you want me to think? Probably one of the best. Pete and I were talking about this morning as we were doing our on cameras. This, without question, is, in terms of quantity, the single best body of water for smallmouth bass, period.
Man.
Period.
You've been everywhere.
And we've been everywhere. But I just have one question to ask, and maybe some people out there watching can answer this. Why aren't they all 6-pounders?
Why? It's the nutrient source in the river.
It's just not there.
So what's happening is we have a lot of alewives and minnows and everything, and then when you go up to Beechwood with that Perth Andover, that one up there has larger fish because they have so much crayfish. And so those crayfish are now migrating. We see more of them spitting up crayfish now in the Mactaquac than we've ever seen. So hopefully, that and, we either that or they're on the Jenny Craig diet. I don't know what they're going on.
I don't know. Are you telling me that, like, I'm being serious here, that the smallmouth on a crayfish diet would be fatter, bigger, stronger, whatever, than alewife or whatever you call them here, Gasparot or something like that, or minnows and
I believe that.
Really?
It's a lot of protein in the I think, and that's what.
Because alewife are full of protein. Like
I don't know.
And easier to, I'm sure, easier to ingest, easier to digest.
Hatch, maybe. Well, I'll tell you what. When Ange and I were just running this part of the river yesterday, watching the teams and that, we dropped our live scope in, and we could not believe the amount of bait in the areas. Like, you drop your scope in no matter where you go. There's a bait ball there. There's a school down there, and they're up high, they're down low, and then there's smallmouth every now and then too, or whatever they are. We could see, but the amount of bait in here was absolutely insane. So there's a great food source. Why they aren't? You'd say longevity, but they've been here forever, right?
Yeah.
They have been here forever. So I don't know. That's a great.
That's
question.
the only theory I can come up with. That crayfish thing,
Yeah,
because
that might be it.
when you go to Perth, it's a 20-pound bag for sure to win.
Right.
And you come down here and it's 2 or 3 pounds less.
Yeah.
So it's been that way, except for years ago, it was a bigger gap.
Right.
So
That'd be a problem though, because crayfish are, again, they're an invasive species. If they come into here more and more, that means they're an invasive species. If they aren't here and they come in, right? Yeah. Lake of the Woods in Ontario right now is having a real problem with rusty crayfish, and that they're annihilating the weed beds, they're ripping apart everything like that.
And they're eating up the
local
crayfish.
You might be hoping for bigger smallies, but you might be hoping for a bigger problem too.
Hey, would it be rude of me to ask a question?
No.
Or am I just here to answer questions?
No, you answer.
I want to ask Joe. Joe?
Here we go.
Here we go, buddy.
Ready.
Is it everything you thought it was going to be? Your dream has come true here, obviously, this week. Is it what you thought it was going to be?
Full disclosure.
Please.
Once the production was done, right before the weigh-ins yesterday, Moose and I met at the Canada Bass tent, and I cried.
Yeah.
I got goosebumps thinking about it. It was 2 years of planning, and I get choked up thinking about it now.
Yeah.
It was so many volunteers and so many people sacrificed so much to make this happen, and there were so many highlights along the way. The day I planted the seed, and you and I spoke on the phone about the possibility of Fishing Canada coming here, and how we were working on partnerships with New Brunswick and Fredericton, and this could be a reality. And the day I got to call you, for those of you watching at home, like, I was a little kid watching Fishing Canada.
Yeah.
And for me to be in a spot where I'm riding this roller coaster ride of emotions, building this showcase in Canada that has never been seen before, and I get to call one of my heroes, Angelo Viola and Pete Bowman, and say it happened. We need you guys to be here.
And you know what?
Cool.
We
Cool
feel
story, buddy.
every bit as emotional about this as you do.
Oh, yeah.
This is a big thrill for us.
Yeah, to bring it to Canada and do it in this fashion, in this area, you
Fantastic.
did great, buddy.
It's
You
exceeded.
really did great.
It's exceeded all of my expectations.
Yeah.
And on the business side of things, we had the RDC was here, and all of the. I think the spaceship was telling us a boat's broke down out there.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Oh well, that's part of the
the
being
game,
a pro.
Russ.
Tournament directors are going to be busy.
They're going to be.
So every angler, every boat has been given a tournament package with emergency contact numbers, and we do have extra boats to make sure we can swap anglers out and get them in a boat where they can continue to fish and have a successful day. But
Now, you fished this event in other countries. You've been as an angler.
Yep.
I know this is yours, so maybe you're a little bit biased, but is this better, worse, comparable?
I don't want to say that it's better, because I truly believe that every country did as much work for their product.
Oh, sure.
Mexico has hosted the Pan American. USA has hosted the Pan American. Canada hosted in 2019. And, with a young initiative and a young organization with the Pan American Sport Fishing Federation, it's kind of difficult to get sponsorships. And the fishing industry is so massive, and the tournament scenes are so massive, that there's hands out everywhere to be able to do this. And when we initially talked to Mike Holland in the province of New Brunswick about the possibility of coming here, financially it made sense. Fishing, it made sense.
Ugh.
The scenery and the people and the hospitality. And, we want to showcase fishing in Canada. We're the Canadian International Sport Fishing Association. So it was very important for us to showcase one of our resources in another part of Canada that maybe gets overlooked, maybe is a little smaller population.
Not for very much longer, my friend. Let me tell you right now.
But everybody I spoke to, from the city of Fredericton to the Research Development Corporation, who is, in layman's terms, they're the bank that works with the province. They're the ones that take care of all the investments and the funding. And they were the easiest group of people to work with through this whole process.
Yeah.
Everybody has said the same thing. You guys have nailed it. You hit a home run. You've exceeded our expectations. And
everybody is going to go home with at least one memory of this event. Everybody. I mean that. There have been so many things that have been going on the last few days. I think everybody is going to go home and just keep this with them the rest of their life. I had one.
Oh,
I had one.
Do you care to share with the team?
Yeah, no, I'll share it. I had one the other day. First day that we were here, we were shooting. We were in the media room, and we were shooting all the headshots for all the different teams, and they were lined up, and so I was focused on my part, which was to ask some questions, right, and everybody else had their job to. So I was just focused on what I was doing, and I'd gone through about 30 or 40 guys, and all of a sudden, there's Chewy Morales standing in front of me. And I knew I'd heard he was going to be here, but until that moment that I met him, it hadn't really crossed my mind. And then my guys looked at me, and after I finished interviewing him, they said, "What happened to you?" And I told them, and they couldn't believe it. I was blown away the fact that moment happened here in New Brunswick, in that room.
Special.
It blew my mind. And I'm taking that.
It shows that we all have fishing heroes, too.
Oh, for
right?
sure,
No
man.
matter
For
what.
sure.
I mean, there's guys out here that are heroic status, basically. You know what I mean? So, it just shows the reality of this great sport that we do.
Chewy Morales has sacrificed more than anybody for this international competition, this style, this format. Chewy hosted a World Championships that we were at. You asked me earlier how this measures up to other international competitions. I've had a gold medal hung around my neck at a Pan American, and it was the most special thing that's ever happened to me in fishing. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to take anything away from the work that they've done, but I will say that we were in a position to make this one bigger and really set the foundation moving forward to grow this. The goal is to make fishing an Olympic sport.
Yep.
And our focus this week is the sport of bass fishing. We have a kayak Pan American Championships happening this weekend, right now, in Hot Springs, Arkansas.
Oh, that's cool.
And that's part of the Pan American Sport Fishing Federation. Team Canada's there, Team USA is there. I haven't checked the stats. I know they had some bad weather coming in, but it's another piece of the product of competitive fishing. FIPS Ed and SIPS are hosting world championships and different various championships for saltwater and fly fishing and carp fishing. And they've got one called coarse angling. I don't even know what that is.
Coarse fishing. It's just like the carp and it's roach and it's all these small kinds of fish over England and areas like that. Yeah.
You know,
and it's huge, by the way. It's huge.
The thing that impresses me is that we had the government here yesterday, the RDC people. They came to see what was going on. We had the mayor and his wife, Tim Fox and Tanya, running around serving people food. We got the Lions Club, the curling club. I believe that it's these small communities that have the ability to make the biggest splash because the whole community is behind it. For sure. And I was putting a plug in for the Worlds with the RDC. Like they're coming up. We have an opportunity maybe Canada to get that. So I'm putting a plug in because they go, this exceeded our expectations. And I said to them, their expectations are only limited by the amount of money you need to give us.
Spoken by Jeff Wilson at his best right there. That is He's good, man. Can you guys imagine, though, if fishing ever got to the Olympic level? How cool would that be?
Oh, yeah.
That would be so awesome. Maybe not bass, maybe it's an all-rounder. Maybe they have to go for pike, bass, walleye, and carp or something like that as a team. That would be so cool.
It would be the only chance in the world that a fat guy could get in the Olympics. That's for sure. You know what I mean? Like, how did you train? I ate donuts.
Well, here's the the very interesting thing about all of these different fishing disciplines, and I've got to be very biased because bass fishing is my passion, and I've got to see bass fishing in Mexico and America and on all these trophy famous lakes. I mean, these two boys here came out of the NCAA college program, Trey McKinney and Tyler Williams.
Oh, man. 2 hammers for sure.
Yeah, it's
This
crazy.
is where it starts, right?
Yeah.
You've got
Yeah.
college recognition. You've got social media impressions of the millions with these guys. I mean, there's anglers here that have more social media and YouTube subscribers and followers than most of the famous track stars in the world at the Olympics. So these are the very viable, realistic things the Olympic Committee is looking at. Is this tangible? Does it make sense? Is it a viable product for the community of sport, right? At the amateur level. And I think we're there. I truly believe that with the TV coverage that the Bassmasters is blowing up these days, and the live streaming coverage, the numbers don't lie. $60 billion was spent on bass fishing in America last year.
Yeah.
Let's be realistic.
That's
Breakdancing made the Olympics.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Think about that one.
Like, just come on.
Not to take away from breakdancing,
Well,
because I'm sure that people...
I'm quite a break dancer at the best of times, actually.
You break down dancing every time you get out there. Here's a question now, because I love the Olympics, but I don't know a whole lot about it. So you said it's an amateur level. Would a Jacob Wheeler be able to fish for Team USA in the Olympics if he's a professional?
It's funny because I've had this same question, and in Mexico at the World Championships, I asked the 2 Olympic representatives that if the Olympics are classified as amateur level sports, which we've all known for 100 years, why was Michael Jordan on Team USA?
Right.
Or Sidney Crosby on.
But they make exemptions
They
to
make
those
exemptions.
because of things like hockey and basketball that are so high profile. I mean, don't forget, guys, for years we didn't have professional hockey players at the Olympics.
Yeah.
And it was dying. That whole hockey thing at the Olympics was going nowhere. So it's...
Okay.
Gary Bettman pulled the NHL players out of the last Olympics, and the ratings were terrible.
gone.
The hockey players were very disappointed. I know several of them, and they were disgruntled about it. They wanted to represent their country.
Of course.
It's the biggest stage in the world.
Absolutely.
I think it'd be a travesty not to have them.
Yes.
And,
you
know, the Scott Martins of the world have to be at a place like that, as far as I'm concerned, if it takes place, if it happens. So
We made changes at our executive level. We've had open qualifiers to make Team Canada, and they were good. We put great teams together through that process, but if you want to grow, you need notoriety. You have to have a product that people want to invest in. And this year we made a change to name, and all the executives voted on it, to name the top 2 teams to Team Canada. And we named Bob Izumi as our captain for
justifiably so.
All of the obvious reasons.
By the way, I want to do a quick shout out to Bob. I don't do it often enough. He was the most gracious guy yesterday to let us go in and intrude on him and his partner, Adam. They gave us an hour and a half of their time. We put cameramen on their boat. We put drones up in the air buzzing them. He was... Absolutely, he is
incredible.
A world champion, and hats off to guys like that, because they realize, people like Bob realize that without the media and without the exposure of all people, Bob understands it, without putting cameras in play, you don't have anything, right? You want to spread this, you want people to know about it, put it out there.
Yeah, Bobby was a rock star yesterday for sure.
He's kind of used to being on the camera.
Oh, I think so. He was good.
He's been there.
He was good.
He's a legend. He's an ambassador. He's the most carefree, likable, laid-back guy on the team. He's such a great leader with the guys. I sat in on the team meeting last night, and he commands the respect of so many anglers that he's come before them. And he called me personally and asked me, "Hey, Joe, it's Bob. Have you fished on Lake Okeechobee before?" I said, yeah, I've been on Okeechobee. He's like, "Would you like to fish for Canada at the Pan American Black Bass?" And like my whole world just stopped.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And here's the guy, my mornings as a child was eating Cheerios when my parents slept, watching Fishing Canada and the Real Fishing Show. Yeah. And my dad took me. I told Ange is probably sick of this story, but my dad used to take me to Barclays to watch the fish tank. He bought me my first fishing rod. It was a Daiwa rod with a Mitchell 300 reel.
Nice.
It breaks my heart I don't have that rod anymore, because that would be such a cool keepsake.
Yeah.
But You know, it is what it is. But I've had those memories, and to be here with you guys today, and now coming off of all my experience with Team Canada, and we really believed in this initiative. We sat down 6 years ago, and I wrote out a 5-year plan, and I presented it to the board, and I think I wrote it wrong because we exceeded it in such a massive way.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Guys, I don't know if you heard the reports, but there was these young fellas are killing it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's Trey McKinney,
Trey just got
Tyler
that
Williams,
one right there.
Yeah.
Team USA.
They've been bagging them. We've been watching these guys at Team USA, and oh my God! Like every time I look at the camera, boys got the rod bent over.
You know, when they're both looking at the scale, they're hoping. That's a long fish right there. That's a
big fish.
That's a big one. Yeah.
Trey won a Bassmaster Elite Series trophy at 18.
I know.
Crazy.
I know.
18.
Insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
I was still trying to learn how to tie my shoelaces at 18. These guys are fishing professional tournaments.
Guys putting 125 G's in his bank account from his allowance.
He's not the guy who would have probably won Angler of the Year, isn't he? And then he pulled himself. Something happened. He said, I broke a rule. Some kind of a phone thing. He told the committee himself, and they dropped him back that, but he was still almost Angler of the Year or something like that. So
he took a phone call on the water.
Yeah.
He was accountable, and those things
that was great
happen.
that he was accountable, though, you know?
You see it, Brandon Palaniuk had a couple rule violations, and he's one of the most loved guys in fishing.
Right.
He calls the tournament director on himself and said, hey, I made a mistake. And
these guys are class, man.
The only objection I take to that, though,
Bare
I give him hell for wearing
feet right there.
Flip-flops.
Flip-flops.
I give him hell for wearing those little what are those sandals you wear?
Crocs.
Flip-flops. Because I tell him don't do that because we've got like exposed hooks all over this deck. One of these times you're going to get it yourself impaled. Now I see this guy's barefoot the whole time.
The world lives on social media impressions. Pete hooks himself, that goes viral.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe I should just plan.
You were the king of hooking yourself back in the day.
I know. That's why
we need to get you start back into that game so we can show it on social media.
Male hookers.
That's right.
What's going on with that?
God, yeah,
I got to say, as a community here in Nakiwik and the people and coming together, this, they couldn't be more proud of what this community has done. Mayor Tim Fox, when I talked to him, we're going to get him up. We want to thank the community. But, I mean, you guys have been here. It was 2015 we were standing in front of that axe. And we had you guys down.
Yeah.
2015. Okay. It was year one of the Striper Cup.
Yeah, baby.
And you guys, I met you here in Nakiwik because I had a cottage over there. So let's go out. We'll do a little, thing. And you went up and opened that up. So when you think of this, it's and here we are.
Well, think about what you just said. It just dawned on me. So now this area and this province has hosted, arguably, in terms of a platform, the biggest global, so far, bass tournament in the country. You run, without question, the biggest overall bass event, that's the Striper Cup I'm talking about, in this country, all happening here in New Brunswick.
In New Brunswick.
What's going on?
Yeah, man. Well,
New Brunswick.
We are fishermen in the Maritimes. Like, we got every cod in the Atlantic Ocean. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you did too.
We know how to get them.
You can't deny that one.
If we ever turn all them fellas that fish cod into inland fishermen,
that'll
be the end of her.
Oh,
that'll be the end of her. We're just going up to vacuum Lake Ontario.
We just did the not that it's the East Coast in general. We just did the Nova Scotia, the Bay of Fundy, which is bordered by New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. And when you're fishing out there, it's a whole different game. But I'll just quickly say this. We were fishing with pieces of mackerel. And as soon as you drop that bait to the bottom, no matter what time of day, as long as you can get out there with the tides, you were getting bit by stripers. Now, they weren't taking it all the time, but you drop it, and you knew the difference between a striper and a little shark and a skate. But when you see that bump, 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 you'd had 500 bites in a day. That's the stripers that are biting your bait. You know what I mean? In this area, the ones that aren't biting your bait are all over your fish finder. It's insane the amount of just stripers alone. So let alone every other fish.
Well, boys, we've got Moose on standby. Yep. Before you guys leave, thank you so much for coming here to the province of New Brunswick.
Absolutely.
We always appreciate it.
I have one more question for you boys before we go to Moose.
Yes.
You guys know our plan. We've had a lot of conversations, and you're very familiar with our goals. Mm-hmm. Where do we go next?
Wow.
I'm going home.
Where do we?
But after that, we'll go somewhere else.
What do we do next? How do we continue momentum in the eyes of Angelo Viola?
In terms of professional fishing?
Yep.
Or in terms
professional
of
fishing in Canada.
This event? Professional fishing in Canada?
Yep.
Well,
international, global.
My quick feeling on that.
Yep.
And that is, if you want to truly be recognized as a professional angler and a professional angling association, and with all due respect to the rest of us who are not as proficient of tournament anglers as some of these stars that we're seeing here on this feed, if you want to be, you got to be. And in my opinion, a professional circuit is just that. Not everybody. In fact, a small percentage of the population can never really be there.
Yeah.
That, to me, is a professional circuit. That's a professional angler. And I don't think anybody has been able to capture that yet. With all due respect to your format with the striper, it's a wonderful event.
It's a
fun event.
community fun event. It's not professional angling.
It's not professional angling.
No.
So to answer your question, what this country needs and desperately needs, not because we need to, take 20 guys and make them superstars and pros, but the young anglers that are coming into the sport need those heroes.
Yeah.
They need those heroes, and we need to make those heroes. We need to elevate those heroes. We need to create, if they're not already there. And the only way you're going to do that is to distinguish them from the rest of the pack, to pull them out, put them on a pedestal, if that's what it takes, but they have to be professional.
Yeah.
I've always said that, and yet we just don't get it here. The U.S. gets it.
Oh, yeah.
They do it.
Yeah.
But we, for some reason, are pussyfooting. Well, yeah, but you don't want to alienate Billy and Bobby and Sandy and Mary.
And I'll add in one more thing, is that if they can take this as a template, what Joe is doing right here, with this, what we're seeing right now, we've never seen this before in any Canadian tournament. This is a template that you should use right here. You guys have done a fantastic job, buddy.
So there you go, buddy.
That's awesome.
Means a lot,
You got
guys.
my support on this. You know that.
Well, that's
The future is strong.
the future's strong. It is, and with the kids around here, like that young Wayland on with Coop and Gus, like, oh man, that's all.
He's gonna be good. He's done. He's
good.
ruined for life.
I was saying to Joe
dancing.
earlier.
Oh, Moose is dancing. Look at
Moose is dancing. Okay. Guys, thanks a lot for coming. Let's get over to Moose. He's been waiting. I think he's got a great thing on the go, buddy. Thank you so much. Appreciate it so much. Petey,
Debbie,
awesome.
pleasure, buddy.
Right on. Wow.
Pete Bowman, Angelo Viola, guys. Thank you very much.
Unbelievable.
What's up, guys? So I know you guys were talking about tournaments and stuff in there, but I just caught up to the 6th place team from China. Sorry, I'm out of breath. I was dancing. Jumping for joy. Whew. Oh, they got a fish on. So this is our 6th place team. Ooh, that looks like a good one. Team China, sitting in 6th place. They currently have 3 fish in the well, so this will be their 4th. Oh my goodness! Oh, that was. They almost lost it. Yeah, baby! Attaboy! That was fantastic. So there you go. Now, the 6th place team has 4 fish in their well. They did say that they weren't huge, but that fish there, hold it up for us. That's exciting. So they've been definitely flipping like crazy. I don't know what they're throwing, but they're flipping for something. I'd be surprised to see how many more largemouth they bring in. I know yesterday one of the teams had brought in 4 largemouth, 1 smallmouth. And this I know because I have to transport these fish all the way back to where they came from. But super exciting to meet up with the 6th place team. We're going to get a little bit closer to them and see if we can have a conversation with them. I'm going to take it easy on the dancing. Let me go have a chat with them. Back to you guys, and we'll see if we can't get you a little conversation with them, see what they're using.
Hey, we're back. Come right. We can.
You want to bring him in now?
Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah,
right on.
Come on
we
in.
got a really cool guest, guys, while we watch Team Canada here. Brian, grab your mic.
Yeah,
to introduce everybody to Brian Cothra. He's a founder and organizer of the Hook and Paddle Kayak Series, going into your 9th season.
Going into the 9th season.
Wow.
Yeah, right here in New Brunswick.
So the Hook and Paddle Kayak Series, kayak fishing is blowing up across the world right now in such a big way for various species, multi-species, bass, saltwater. We at CISA, the Canadian International Sport Fishing Association, we have a kayak division that Richard Offner is our director of kayak bass. Canada Kayak. And Brian works with Richard, and he qualifies the Maritimes teams to fish for Canada. Brian, why didn't you tell us about what's going on south of the border right now?
For sure, yeah. We just, last year, 2023, we qualified our first angler for the World Championships.
Amazing.
For Team Canada. And he actually went there, represented Team Canada in Italy just in September, so not too long ago.
Awesome.
And right now we have Team Canada's in Carolinas, and they're doing another kayak fishing tournament. We didn't qualify for that one, so we have somebody qualified for next year already. So it's been awesome just to be able to have representation from the east coast of Canada, representing all of Canada, because as you're seeing right now, this fishery is crazy.
Oh, it's...
there's bass everywhere, and I know the number keeps going up every day, right, Jeff?
Yeah.
But,
well, it went up, I think it was 37 billion yesterday morning, 42 billion.
It's 57 billion. There's 57 billion smallmouth.
No, it was 52 this morning. Now it's
57 billion smallmouth in this river.
At least, yeah. That's the nice thing about our series is we do a multi-species tournament. So even right here in Nakwick, right where these guys launched, we caught 3 muskie in this water right around the corner.
You just must water ski behind those. I've seen the girth on those muskies in this river. If you're a muskie fisherman and you don't know where the St. John River is in New Brunswick, you are missing out in a catastrophic way. Like, you need to come and chuck a big bait here for muskies.
So you see those bait balls that we're chasing around with bass, and there's millions of them. Think what that muskie is chowing down on.
Yeah.
Like, oh my, I mean, right around the corner here, they had an old tank farm before the flood, and they actually literally blew the foundation up, and they created a bowl, and I call it the Muskie Bowl. And every time these guys have a tournament, or the muskie guys would have a tournament, I used to run down along the lawn, stick a sign up on my apple tree and go, "No muskies here," with a big sign. And every year I'd get a picture back with a guy standing there with a muskie with my sign in back of him. Like, they'd all go there. It was great spot. Yeah, but these guys are, Brian, like, I've been following you guys. You got to do a TV show. You're great at social media. You're doing, all the great things, and we're seeing a lot of young folks. Parker Sherwood, I brought him out a few times, got him going. He's in it.
Yeah.
The kayak thing is, thanks to the carbon tax, is really taken off. So, but I mean, it's a different thing, and I talked to some great anglers that are in it, and guys that used to do a lot of big bass tournaments, including Mike Akinelli, who did the same thing. And he said what it's done is forced him to figure out his skills in his zone. I mean, you're not going to run from here down to, the arm, go fishing. Well, unless you're like Arnold Schwarzenegger going like.
No, it's a whole new world. Like, yes, like you said, bass fishing is blowing up in kayaks. It's affordable. People can get into it, no problem. Here in New Brunswick, we have youth, we have bass series, we have a multi-species series. More women than I've ever seen coming in kayaks this summer. It continues to grow, and the fact that we now have Team Canada recognizing we have water out here too. We have good anglers out here. The sport's not going to stop growing.
Right.
And it only promotes not just our communities here and the waterways we have in Canada and the fish, but it promotes fishing in general. Like you said, our youth series is blowing up. There's just more and more youth every single year. Why? They don't need a bass boat. I know you guys call them tinners, or all these boats that you're seeing on the screens today. You can get into a kayak for $2,000, right? And that's a youth angling. That's exactly
an opportunity.
It gets them started. They might be in there. They might be Cooper Gallant someday, right?
Yeah, for sure. Brian, is Watershed one of the tour sponsors or your own?
They make our clothes, so I didn't want to.
I wanted to show that off and talk about that for a minute. Right. Craig Young and his family own Watershed Apparel, and they donate a large portion of the proceeds to conservation efforts in New Brunswick. And I met Craig 2 years ago at the Destination Nakawik Open and fell in love with his family. Unfortunately, Craig wasn't able to be here this week, and I wish he could have been. We support Watershed like I'm telling you, all the guys on the team, my wife's a huge Watershed Apparel fan. I know he's working with Under Armour now, and he's got some great stuff. Just Google Watershed Apparel. I mean, I can't say enough good things about Craig and his family. They're it
was a no-brainer for us. Well, one, I didn't want to have all the clothes at my house.
Yeah.
And two, like you said, a portion of the funds that come in from the sales go to protecting the watersheds.
Yep.
So that's a no-brainer. But now this year, Craig's bought his wife a kayak, and his daughter was in our series this year.
Oh, he's on
friends.
it.
So there's about
Nice.
5 or 6 of them when we were up in Woodstock having a tournament. And everybody was just watershed stuff everywhere. So
Craig and his family are going to be here for the weigh-ins, I believe. So I hope they'll be here. You guys can meet them if they're around. I'm sure they'll be hanging out by the Canada Bass booth.
We talked to Craig. He called me to talk about waterfront development and what they're going to do in Heartland, and they're going to build some facilities there. And that to me. There's a guy, he's a high school teacher, he's good with youth or whatever, and he's got, conservation minded, he's going into the kayak stuff, he's supporting fishing. That's what community guys, that's what we need in communities is people who want to get involved and help.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've been organizing stuff for a long time, and it's here in the Maritimes that people help.
For sure.
When you're putting a roof on your house, it's your neighbor that runs across. It's your, it's
well,
all.
I heard yesterday on the live stream, all it costs is a smile and a case of beer.
Yeah, that was my. You're friends for life.
That's right.
Yeah, well, if you give a guy $20, you get nothing. You give him a case of beer that costs $20, he's your friend forever.
Yeah. No, you guys listen. You guys are doing an excellent job putting this all on and giving people access to see it. Is something like I was watching this the whole drive here. I was listening to you guys, and
awesome.
And even yesterday, right? Just knowing that this is here, and Jeff, all the information you're sharing on here. As a local angler and a guy that organizes series just like you do, I'm learning just from listening to you guys. Like I'm seeing spots on here that I've never even fished before, and now I'm seeing them in my own province. And I've been here. I've been running this series for 10 years.
Oh yeah.
And it's just awesome to see it. And I hope that people, I hope that they can keep doing this and continue to promote Team Canada and the pro-ams in the world and everything. But
there's big plans for the future.
Yeah.
Big plans.
I always get this comment. I get this comment from a friend of mine, Bruce Clark, up in the Miramichi. He said, I took that Jeff Wilson up here fishing, and he invited 3,000 of his bloody friends. And I said to Bruce, I go, yeah, but there's a lot of fish, and sometimes I think, man, I've been on this river for 35 years,
right,
and fishing. And I used to go. You could run up anywhere, any point, and I was the first guy there every time.
Yeah.
And I'd find a little something, and I had that in my back pocket for a couple tournaments, and nobody would know. The secret's out.
Yeah.
But when you look at, we have 55 anglers, boats, and they're all over the place. We got some upriver, we got some downriver, we got some people in tributaries, we got some up there. Look at half of these guys on the line. We see Team Canada. Do you see any other boats?
No.
So how many tournaments can you go in where you don't have 6 or 8 boats tight around where you're fishing? So you can take literally a piece of ground here and dissect that properly and do a good job. And that's what the boys were telling me, the skill they're getting from the kayak thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like they're really dissecting a piece of water because they can't, turn up that 250 and put her on plane and get her going.
No, exactly. And that's the fun thing about a kayak is, especially with our series, the different amount of species that we have just in the St. John River.
Oh, it's crazy.
Like you have to be able to catch 10 different species in one day in 8 hours. So you can't spend 20 minutes catching a bass or following one around on live scope. You got to put one in the boat.
Yeah, no,
absolutely.
And you guys have been at it a long time. I mean, I know a lot of the boys out of Nova Scotia, and I've been following this kayak thing right from the beginning. And man, some of them kayaks though, man, they got some gear on them.
Oh yeah,
they look like a freaking Spider-Man. They look like those dice that Alex makes there. The freaking stuff sticking out of everywhere.
Weird looking stuff. Guys, there's we just got a question to the YouTube broadcast of this live. Somebody asked if there was live coverage of the kayak tournament down south, and I don't believe they will have it live coverage. Actually, I know they won't, but the weigh-ins could be somewhere on one of the maybe USA Angling or wherever. Yeah. And where I'm going with this goes right back to what we were talking about with Angelo and Pete and community involvement, right? And setting the stage in New Brunswick, in the capital city, Fredericton region, and the destination Nakawik, and this beautiful St. John River, and being able to broadcast this to the world now.
Right.
This is the call out to communities that host.
For sure.
Like this is the time for you to look at this as a viable product, kayak fishing, economic impact, what sport fishing will bring to your community. It's so important, and without the support of the communities, we can't have this.
No, not at all.
We can't have this show, and I think that's been the big shortfall in Canada, and I think it comes down to demographics and population, but we have enough notable tournament anglers, and I mean, there's probably 20 guys now that are fishing very successfully in the open level professional divisions between FLW and Bassmaster and doing really good. Danny McGarry stepped on the pedal this year and he got really close near the end. He top 10 twice on the Bassmaster Opens. Yep. Danny McGarry is Cooper Gallant's tournament partner.
Yeah.
And there's Eric Luzak has fished the FLW Tour now. He won the FLW the MLF Cup. He won the Canadian MLF Cup. He won the Canadian division of the Toyota Series. He fished in the Forest Wood Cup. Like, this stuff should never be overshadowed by the Elite Series boys because there's a lot of hammers that are traveling south and being very successful. Charles Sims fished in the Bassmaster Classic. You know, Cooper qualified. Now he's fished in 2 classics. Gussie won 1. Corey's an AOY. Like the list goes on. The Canadian boys are
too, right?
There's notoriety now. There is a product in sport fishing that companies and communities can get behind.
100%.
But if we don't get the support from the companies, if they don't have a product to invest in, we don't have a future.
That's
so who
right.
gives them the product?
You know, it's a big, chasing sponsors and working with sponsors. I mean, we're right now. We're just almost into October, and next month, November, is sponsor season. Like if you're not on them in November, having meetings, getting your product aligned up with theirs, getting the applications in, getting them to believe in what you're going to be doing next year, and getting that done in November. You're out of luck after Christmas.
For sure.
And I mean, I get guys coming to me in May. Well, how do I get a sponsor? Well, the first thing you need to do is start last year.
It's year round, yeah.
And, we did Mark Doran from Doran Outfitters. He's been working with a number of companies that I've been dealing with for about 3 years and still haven't quite got them there yet. But, companies like Patterson Marine and, of course, the Yeti Hot Seats. Yeti's been a big sponsor. These, without this, we don't have those prizes to give to the participants, and without the participants feeling like they're getting something in return, then we don't, the whole market starts to shrink. Yeah. And the pandemic did such a great thing. It brought a ton of people into the fishing community, sure. And just trying to hold on to that right now is so critical. So, hey, you guys are up. You come up by the Striper Cup. Yeah, you come up there every year.
Every year, man. We start our season in Miramichi, and it's because of exactly what Joe said. It's because your city sponsors the event. They see value in kayaks and 50 kayaks coming to their town on a Saturday, right?
Yeah.
They see like you said, we're leaving money there because we all got to put gas in. We all got to eat. So it makes sense, right? They give us some prizes and some money, but it is a year-round process, and these things do not happen without the local communities. And I don't know how many times you guys have talked about bread on this webcast, but there's a lot of bread that got made for sandwiches.
Oh, man.
Like that's not, you don't get that unless the community buys in.
And that's
870 loaves.
But that's it. And for us, we're just, like, I'm so impressed with what they're doing here. Yeah. And it's a formula that works when the community gets behind something and they all believe in the opportunity. You can't deny the maritime hospitality. Like
you can't fail. You will not fail.
Right.
And the fundamental difference with what we at CISA are trying to achieve right now is we're a non-for-profit organization. And I had this conversation with somebody this morning at the ramp that, tournament fishing in Canada has been going through some ups and downs and struggles and, low boat numbers and high boat numbers and too many series and too many tournaments for guys to choose from. And the anglers are the anglers. Like, they're, can be a fussy bunch of guys at the best of days. But without some kind of a foolproof community event The fishing tournament should be secondary in any one of these structured plans. Jeff does an amazing job at the Striper Cup. I've seen the footage. I've seen the pictures. I've seen the sponsors that come out. I've seen the prizes. I've seen the stuff for kids. Destination Nakwicks community did the kids fishing tournament, the derby during their days. If you don't have an event that brings people, if you don't have an event that brings things for families to do, you don't have a product.
Right.
And these companies and these marketing managers, they've got budgets, they've got, numbers, they've got to
Everybody in the world asking.
They've got to meet their numbers, and if it's not a viable investment, they're going to go on to the next investment, and in a lot of cases now, the music festivals downtown and the wine tastings are more successful than what we're trying to do, because Moose is with anglers. The spaceship's talking. Holy smokes.
The spaceship coming in.
Hey, Brian, I just want to take a second and say thank you very much, buddy. Keep up the hard work. Anything we can do to support.
All right, we just caught up with
Thanks,
team
pal.
number 27 from Turtle Island. And, boys, you were saying that today's definitely a better day than yesterday.
Yeah, for us it seems to be a little bit better. Now, we didn't have a world record-breaking weight yesterday, so it's not hard to do better today, but it just seems like for us we kind of put a little bit of something together at the end of the day. Yesterday we had a good team meeting last night. Some information was shared, which was critical for us today. And it seems to be going a little bit better. The bites are still sporadic, but if you just keep plugging away at it, eventually we're getting
There it is. Attaboy. That's the GOAT, Mike Quinnell. If you guys don't know him, follow him online. We call him the GOAT back home. How's that for a little bit of action?
Looking for it, but that's basically the deal that we're working.
Beautiful. So you've got 5 in the well, I take it. You've got 5 in the well. Right on. And how's it looking at the front of the boat? So 2 different techniques. Do you find that that's the secret is, cover water, slow it down, speed it up?
Today it seems to be. I mean, a lot of times I find if 2 guys are throwing the same bait, sometimes you're pulling the fish away from where they need to be, and the guy in the back of the boat doesn't get a shot at them. But Matt just seems to be doing good at the front, picking off what he can see, and I'm just following up on water that he's covered and moving a quicker moving bait, looking for a reaction.
Beautiful, beautiful. Matty, how you doing up there?
Oh, it's good. I'm net man today.
Oh boy, you know what it is? You're too handsome. The fish are just afraid of talking to you and stuff like that. So it's just too much turtle power at the front.
There's quite a bit of turtle experience in the back, is what it is. And, every day I come out with this guy. He's a legend in Canada, and I learn something new every day. Sometimes it's just mentality. It's not fishing techniques or style. It's just a different thought process on how to
approach
execute the day.
Yeah.
Oh, shucks.
There you go. There you go. Team Turtle Power. I've been bugging these guys all week. Turtle Power this, Turtle Power that. But honestly, they are a great bunch of anglers, very, very well versed, and it's awesome to watch them do their thing. I have a feeling they're just going to hook into another giant right now. The more fish on camera, the better. I haven't had the pleasure of fishing with Mike just yet, but I will. One day we're gonna get one of these days. We're gonna actually make it happen. We talk about it all the time.
It's just gearing up back home, so I'm looking forward to getting home and getting some clients out at the end of October and into November, and hopefully putting a few quality fish in the boat.
Absolutely.
You were on top of my list to get out there, bud.
I'm looking forward to it. Muskie fishing with the GOAT. There it is.
Oh, we just break
Another
away
fish.
from Moose and they hook one up. I heard it. There he is.
This is right though. Like I've known Matt and Mike for a very long time, and Matt is a good-looking dude. I'm telling you, I don't know. We were having a chat in the boatyard last night, and I kind of got lost in his eyes. And I'm a happily married dude, but you know, I don't. Maybe it was the mustache. I don't know. Two of the greatest ambassadors. They're from the Ontario sport fishing scene. They fish CSFL. Mike's won more championships than years I have on Earth, I think. And Matt won the Classic. I think it was 2 years ago. But they're great anglers. Yeah. Look who we found.
Yeah, Mayor Tim Fox, the man, the legend, the myth, the mystery. He's back.
Guys. Honorable Tim Fox. My roommate.
Yeah.
It's been a great couple days, Tim.
Wow.
And I gotta say, man, you guys have blown it out of the park.
Yeah, I know, and we've got such an amazing community here. We've got people that have stepped up for volunteering. I gotta give kudos again, and I keep saying this: the curling club making 185 lunches, and they're not just putting any old lunch together. It's all homemade stuff, homemade bread, roast and turkey.
That roast beef yesterday, just
and homemade desserts, everything, and so they really stepped it up, and it's a good fundraiser for them to sustain their operation for the year, right? So it's great for them, but they really have outdone themselves. The Lions Club, they've been letting us use their facility. They helped us out with the dinner the other night, and their facilities, they say, when do you need it? Here's the key.
I remember there was a lady, I'm not sure what her name was, but she's been there, oh my God, since dirt was invented.
Yeah.
And she told me it's one of the most successful lion clubs in Canada.
They are, and you know what? They're active. They do a ton of work in the community, and they support a lot of things. It's like this community is unreal, and it makes it easy for somebody like me that wants to be a mayor.
Yeah,
because you got a lot of people stepping up and
helping,
and you need that kind of support to pull off things like these, right?
Yeah, well, you think some of the guys who are doing the parking this morning, they're here, they're back, then they're going, they're coming back. They just live close.
I'm noticing here this morning, there's a few folks here this morning. They're way in advance of weigh-ins, right? And some of them are bringing their kids, and they're doing some fishing around the docks, and they're catching a few fish out there. And it's become a bit more of a festival. And I've heard you use the word, Joe, a celebration of fishing. And we're drawing those people in, and that's what we want. We want to share this community. I mean, we've got a beautiful spot here, and another thing I want to mention is our staff, our municipal staff. They've all pulled together this week. We shut the municipal office down yesterday afternoon because we needed hands-on in the marina. We needed hands-on around the site here. And look, I can't be more proud of our staff and our whole community.
Yeah. I've had goosebumps for 4 days. And it might be a lack of sleep deprivation.
Yeah.
But it's I've been in a lot of really nice places fishing, and second to none here, really.
Yeah.
Well,
no, our local provincial representative was through this morning and got a chance to show him through and what we were doing and how things were going, and he said, Tim, you got a big smile on your face. And I said, it's been like that for 3 days now.
We're here.
It's happening.
I got a kind of a fishing related question, Tim.
Sure.
Did you ever think in a million years that you would come to your river and you would watch nations from Puerto Rico and Colombia and Costa Rica be so adaptive on a body of water? We have been watching these feeds all morning, and they are flat out catching them. Trey McKinney's on another one, which I'm not surprised. And if Tyler's on his knees with the net, it's a good fish.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
and that's the tournament leader.
No, I know, and that's the thing for me. And you're right. First of all, I wouldn't have ever dreamt that we would have this event. You know, in January 2023, when I stepped up as mayor of this community.
Wow.
Oh yeah, that's a nice one. That is a nice one.
Holy.
Oh,
you know, I wouldn't have dreamt that. And,
those guys are going to be hard to beat.
And we're certainly we're kind of a little community here, 4,000 people, but we punch way above our weight class.
You do.
Big time, buddy.
Yeah.
And I've got an excellent council. We want to support making these things happen because we know it brings people to our community. And it's great.
Your brand, Destination Nakwik, is everywhere.
Yeah, no,
it's
exactly.
everywhere.
Yeah,
and that's the branding is so important when people think of New Brunswick and they think of Destination Nakwik. Yeah.
So correct me if I'm wrong, Tim. Destination Nakwik is Economic Development Corporation for your Nakwik Melville. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah. So
the first of the.
Yeah. So what happened? We had a significant hit to our tax revenue here in like 2016, I think, and it
look at the one that's
a bit of challenge for the council of the day, and they were trying to figure out how they were going to deal with that, and folks at the time they said, okay, well let's create our own economic development corporation. It gives you a little bit more freedom than maybe a council would have. Plus, you can draw in. They were able to draw in some of the business leaders around the community and as the board of directors, and then you can kind of float ideas and say, okay, well let's do this and let's do that, and start to dream big.
Right.
That's a Dave Chong thing. Dream big.
Fishire, dream big.
Yeah. So. In 2019, I think they got the corporation going, and from there we said, okay, let's do a master plan for the waterfront, and that's the result. Here we are, the result of that, and we've got other projects that we've throughout the community that we're working on, and our next big marketing campaign will be for a new housing development that we're working on. Phase 1 of that will put an additional 109 doors in our community.
When is that? When will those lots be for sale?
We're hoping that by sometime late next summer we're going to have stuff ready to go.
Stuff ready to sell. Okay.
So that's 109 homes. On average, that could be families of upwards of 400 people. They could put a dent in a 57 billion smallmouth population. I think they could. They could help.
Well, if we brought them all in and then they were all anglers, then you'd be right.
You know what? You should put a brand new fishing rod and a tackle box at the door of every new house.
That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea.
It comes with a fishing
rod. I guess for us, and all jokes aside, it's the population base. That's one thing, and we keep on.
Just a sec.
We keep on trying to build this community, right? And we want to share what we got here.
So, you're in the right direction, Tim, and I commend you for all the efforts and the hard work and your team. It's truly a beautiful example of what community is.
It really is a team effort, and like I said, I play such a small part in all of this, really, because it's council, their support. We're all pulling the rope the right direction.
Yeah.
From January 2023, when we went through municipal reform, we brought all the periphery communities together into one municipal unit, and we hit the ground running in January 2023. So
it's been fun to watch. I've been here since 2015 in the community, and just from what I saw, that's 9 years ago.
Yeah.
And what's happened in 9 years supersedes 25, 30 years before.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's moving fast.
Your previous guest, Brian, after I'm done with you guys, Brian and I are going to go and have a chat and talk about, hook and paddle events, and why can't we do something like that here?
Well, I think they have one here.
But I'm talking
more.
I'm talking maybe nationals.
No question.
Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's true. Like, hey, maybe the Pan American Kayak Championship.
It's already up. It's guys. It's Vice President. It's here.
No, my wheels have been turning for 3 or 4 days now.
Pan American Championship Kayak Bass.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy.
Can happen here. That's a very real.
It can.
I think the spaceship's been talking to us here. I think Moose is dancing on the boat, ready to break down.
I think he was ready, but we might have lost him, or we got him back. Spaceship Central. Do we have him
still
back?
there?
Yep.
Oh, no audio.
No audio. So
Moose got no audio, but he's on Team China.
On Team China. So anyway, Tim, listen, man.
I just want to say one more thing before we go, because I know you guys are doing it, but from the municipal standpoint, Fredericton Capital Region Tourism.
Yeah.
We're a partner with that as part of our Regional Service Commission. They're phenomenal. They've supported this event big time.
Yeah.
The provincial government, we had a few of those folks through yesterday, as you know.
Yeah.
They like what they see here. It can do nothing but support more, right? And then ACOA, again, they were at the opening ceremony on Wednesday night, and they understand that, their support to this marina project has resulted in this kind of thing happening. So they're super excited too, right? So
they deserve credit for seeing it. I mean, Pat Olson down at the City of Fredericton, he was one of the first to get the step up to get this thing started.
Yeah, I had a great chat with Pat here yesterday.
Pat's been my wingman through all of this.
Yeah,
and you, Tim, but you're my roommate now. So
we're more like brothers, he says. Yeah.
I've been a bystander that has been blessed with the opportunity to trailer my boat down here for 2 years now and experience this fishery. And if you're thinking of anywhere to go, I promise you, the Destination Nakawik Open is a community-run bass tournament. It's a standalone championship-level open tournament. It's got a $400 entry fee. There's $15,000 for first place.
Yeah, that was last year.
That was last year.
I think he's the cat, so we're going to go bigger.
Tim's working. Like, it started at 10, and it's 15, and the top 20 get paid, and they had 87 teams.
Yeah, it was crazy.
If you're a tournament guy and you want an experience of a lifetime in a time frame where in Ontario, we can't catch them in Ontario.
Right. Yeah.
We have closed seasons.
Right.
And you can come down here and catch 100 to 200 smallmouth in a day in a tournament.
I've been talking this up for years, is that New Brunswick needs to market that we are the spring bass fishing destination in Canada. You can come down here, come to the Destination Nakawik, you hit up 300 or 400 smallies.
Striper Cup the next week.
As soon as you follow up, you come over to the Striper Cup, you get 300 or 400 stripers, take one for a meal, have a few pops, fish the Striper Cup, and go home. You don't have to fish for at least a month. Your thumbs are raw.
And there's your vacation for a super vacation too, right?
Yeah. Yep. And I mean, it's nothing to get. I mean, well, look at this. I go with Ron James, come down, never left.
Yeah.
He just stayed.
Yeah.
I think Pat Roach, I'm fairly certain, is going to move here from Nova Scotia.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy. It's.
Yeah, I'd love to get those guys to team up in the Destination Nakawik Open next spring.
How cool would that be?
But the thing is we in New Brunswick, we just don't sometimes realize what we have. And it takes a step back, like a Joe to say what we have. I know when I went to the Miramichi and I saw the fish, and the first thing I said, we got to do something with this. Yeah. And man, it's just the way it is.
You're absolutely right. I mean, I grew up in this community and I moved away for a while. And I came back with like very little intention of ever getting into municipal politics, but I wanted to give back to the community. And when I saw what we had to work with, and being away for a while and coming back, and really taking that for granted when I was here growing up.
Yeah.
And understanding like we've got a massive resource right out in front of us here.
It's incredible.
And we don't pay for it.
It's free.
Wow.
It's good return on investment, right?
ROI, yeah, baby.
So no, it's a pleasure for us to have this event going on. As I said to our folks this morning, I said I've had this smile going for 3 days. And it has been. I mean, everything's we've all had hiccups, right, and things, but we've worked through them, and great team that you guys have put together. You guys are doing a great job in this commentating too. You know, like you guys rival TSN and ESPN. Like it's been great.
Oh yeah, I said I'm the new Zona of New Brunswick.
And I'm the Tommy Sanders.
Tommy Sanders.
With all respect,
Tanny and I watched a while last night, and it was like she said I got to go to bed. It was like 11:45.
That's good.
Thank you very much.
It's been
awesome.
great, and like I said, you know, Aurora Productions.
Oh,
how could we beat this? You know.
Oh no, this is fantastic and
home run
for sure.
I want everybody in New Brunswick, and there was a huge language inconsistency that we're very proud of our homes, right, and what we bring to the table. But I want people to take away from this event the splash that they made across Canada and parts of the world.
Oh
yeah,
like the language has to be from a place of. We did something for all of sport fishing, because the Pan American Federation is quite large. There's a lot of nations involved, and FIPS and SIPSAD has a lot of global nations involved in international competition. And to be able to celebrate the spectacle of fishing in New Brunswick, like you guys have done something so remarkable here. My hat's off to everybody involved.
Yeah.
Well, Tim,
thank you, Tim.
Appreciate it, guys. And,
thank you so much for coming to the desk, and we're gonna get you up on stage later today.
Yeah, for sure.
We got to go live to Ron.
For those of you who don't know, Pat Roach and Ron
are waiting.
Who is Pat Roach?
That's that trailer park boy, or
affectionately known as Trailer Park Supervisor,
Randy.
Assistant Supervisor Randy.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's see the spaceship saying we might have an audio problem, but I can't imagine Ron James is short of words.
Nope,
let's see what we can do.
All right.
Thanks,
guys.
Thanks, Tim.
Yeah, no problem.
Tyler Williams hooked up. I don't think we've gone to Ron and Pat yet. I'm nervous for our boys. Oh, man, these kids are so dialed in right now. Look at them, throwing 2.5 pounders back like they don't matter. Just smile on his face ear to ear.
Yeah,
I talked to Tyler Williams in the boatyard parking lot the other night. We were trying to get his batteries charged up properly with cords, and he's got 3 battery chargers because he's got like 6 12 to 16 inch graphs on his boat, and he's got a bunch of lithiums. He's so thrilled to be here, guys. I mean, he's in Maine, but he said the hospitality here has been amazing.
Okay,
Ron's ready. Let's roll.
Ready. Let's go, Ronnie. Let's see what you got, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. What a ride down this river.
Yes, I know. The wind picked up when we hit this spot right here.
Are you looking for fish?
Well, I'm always looking for fish.
Yeah. Well, we just found a team from Turtle Island here, Matt and Andrew. They've been fishing down this way. Is that a train bridge or what is that?
No, I see some cars going across there right now.
Oh, okay.
Looks like one. It's a low bridge for sure.
Looks to me like that's your home over there.
Well, there are some trailers over there. No, they look nice. They look nice, Ron. Nicer than what I'm used to seeing.
No, I thought maybe we would pop into your house there for a bit.
Well, you never know. Maybe someone's cooking some cheeseburgers. We can go on over.
I'll tell you what. We did come to see is some fish, so let's hook up with these guys. Andrew, what are you guys? Can you hold up a fish for us? They've had a kind of a tough day. The wind's been blowing. It's picked up here. We're going to have to zoom in real quick, he says. What are you catching them on? Matt, what was that you threw out? Okay, can we have a quick look at that when you got a minute? I'm gonna try to head up to you there. Minnow style bait. There you.
Yeah.
That one.
Live.
First Nation team from Turtle Island. My home base right there. I'll tell you right now, we're okay, that's like a minnow style with a 1/4 ounce head on there. Fluorocarbon leader. 8-pound fluorocarbon leader.
Okay.
Nice. Now, are you throwing like on the bottom, or you swimming them, or what are you doing?
We see them on my scope, we'll let it sink. But if we're along like a weed line, we'll kind of flip it back down.
So I don't know if you can hear them, but Andrew said they're kind of swimming it along a weed line. They're bringing it through the rocks, and and just swimming that bait along. And then when they get them, they get them. We've seen a lot of boats around, but they kind of hide on us, don't they?
That's right. They're probably not trying to share their secrets. No. That might be what it is.
Oh, it's fine. That's the first time.
Looks like we lost some audio.
Look, I think I got Moose on standby, and I'm going to come back here and talk to Mike Puszczek, one of our tournament directors. So let's see if Moose can make it happen this time there, Starship Central.
Starship Central.
Hey, guys, what's happening?
I don't know if it's going to work or not.
Got some big ones?
The rest is 14 inches.
Another local hammer. Put together Team China. Can you show us a fish, Jasper? You guys are in for a treat. Oh, Jasper is a one of a kind. He owns Pro J Tackle out in Toronto, Scarborough. Huge supporter of all the series, all the young local anglers. He's a gem. He's a complete gem, and he's a stick. There we go. Attaboy.
Skinny and long.
Skinny and long?
I'm the fat boy.
He's a fat boy. Well, I won't be with you for too long here. I'll let you look for the fat boys, but good luck. Oh, what a gem. Get a big one. Get a big one on camera. They're still live. Is it fishing different than yesterday, Jasper? Totally different. Yesterday shallow, today deeper. What would you compare this to? What would you compare this to back home? What would you compare it to back home?
Number-wise, pretty good, but size-wise, the home's better. Especially, I just finished the Southern Island Cup. We come down here, day and night.
Okay, good luck, buddy. We'll see you at the end of the day.
Oh, we're back in studio. It's funny. We're just here. This is Mike Puszczek. He's a tournament director with co-tournament director. Mike, you were just telling us about an emergency upriver?
Yeah, so we had a boat up in the Woodstock area take out its lower unit, and we were scrambling to get them a replacement. It's on its way. I'm pretty sure they've done the switch already by now.
Wow, I'm
efficient.
That's a $9,000 gift from God there. That's terrible.
Insurance company.
Unfortunately, I know the angler and I know the boat, and that thing is maybe 60 days old.
Yeah, you know when stuff like that happens, though, like we're all insured, we're covered, but you're just grateful nothing happened.
Yeah. It can go bad quick. You know,
we had a team in Mexico, Phil Haggerty and Bob McMillan, when we won gold medal. There was a sunken concrete bridge in the middle of the river, and we had to go around this one tree stump to get past. That was the only safe place to travel. So all of the Mexican boat marshals knew of this pathway. So Brian Bickle and myself were fishing, and when we finished up, we were driving back to the tournament site. And as we got close to that bridge to make that loop, we saw a whole bunch of boats crowded around, and we got up to Phil and Bob, and their motor was gone. They ripped a 250 horsepower Mercury Optimax off the back of the boat, and we couldn't see it because the water's brown. And when they pulled the boat out of the water, the engine dragged up the boat ramp behind the boat. And when it broke off the back of the water, they had to duck into the consoles, and the engine spun up on the back deck and chewed up all the fiberglass on the gunnel of the bass boat, a Ranger 520 model.
Oh.
Like, scary beyond measure.
Yeah, it is crazy. I've only taken off 3 of them in my career, and a couple of years ago, I had lost one about 9 years before that, and Corey and William Marr were up fishing in Woodstock, and they had dropped the water level so low, they saw something shiny, and they went over there.
Wow.
And it was my lower unit from 9 years before, and they said, "Oh, we found a lower unit." I go, "Is it a 27 Tempest Plus?" They go, "It is."
Jason Hines just missed a bite.
So, Mike, listen, I mean, you've been here for a couple days. This is a great event. Tell me how things are going in terms of the weigh-in and all that. How many hiccups? Is things okay?
Excuse me. So yesterday being the first day for the weigh-in, there was a couple of hiccups, but we got through it. There was a little bit of a lull in the weigh-in process, but we got through it. And I mean, we got all these teams done. Last flight was in at 4 p.m. yesterday. Weigh-in complete. I think it was 5:01 yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, it was pretty fast, eh?
Put 56 teams through the weigh-in.
So it's possible.
100% it's possible.
So just for the viewer's sake, so Mike is he and Joe Logituk just won Team of the Year here in the province of New Brunswick. So they've had a great series. Not only did they win Team of the Year, but it was 4 first place finishes. So it was a perfect season. How'd that feel, brother?
I tell you what, I'm glad after our last event that pretty much secured us for Team of the Year. The pressure was off.
Yeah.
And we could go have some fun.
We could concentrate on the next tournament that we did, which was MB Bass Tour. We went out, we had fun for the day, and we wrangled a second, and we had a blast because there was no pressure.
Yeah.
Then was the Classic, or the Championship. There was a little bit of pressure on that, but we both agreed, you know what, we're going to go out, we're going to have fun for the day, and we're going to finish what we finish. And, you know, I couldn't be more impressed, not to toot my own horn, with our season, but even in the Classic, we pulled off a 3rd.
Yeah, that's great.
Will this be repeated by us next year? I highly doubt it.
Yeah, and people don't realize, and I went through this a couple years ago, you start on that path and you've got some great finishes, and then all of a sudden, that's when that pressure really hits.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're going, I can't, you know, if you get a couple of wins, and then you're like, oh my gosh, we really have an opportunity at this. And then, you know, they don't see the pre-fishing that it takes, the planning and all the things that go on.
Yeah.
And the family, you're on edge, and it's like, it's crazy. And then, you know, you got to say you do it for the love, right? Like there's the return on investment on those things is pretty low.
You know what, when you go out there and you hook up your first fish of the day, and the stress is just instantly gone.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I have a pretty stressful job, and I tell everybody, as soon as I step on that boat and I start thinking about fish, I don't think about anything else.
Yep.
Like you zone, and well, I'll tell you a guy that zones in. I'm on with Coop, and you talk to Coop, and he's like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't respond." He is, for a young man to be that zoned in, like it's crazy. And we've been watching him here on the, you know, he's been over like an 80-year-old scope, scoping.
Yep.
But congratulations on that. That's one of those things that you get, you know, once in a lifetime. It's a hard thing to do. You got some great sticks that want it bad too.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so you know
There's
they're going to do
hammers.
They can do
here.
everything.
There's some guys that can catch them down here.
Oh yeah,
they're dialed in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was amazed when I first started to talk to the community, and I think you guys really were either very humble or just sold yourself completely short. Guys were like, "Wow, we don't have the big tournament trails like in Ontario, and you know, a lot of the boats are smaller and." None of that matters. And I came down here and saw fully loaded Rangers and brand new Skeeters and brand new Phoenixes and top of the line electronics. And I was taken back based on what y'all have shown me and told me coming down here. I don't know if you're just blowing smoke at me just to get me down here and beat my teeth in, but
I think, you know, it's like anything else. You start off small and you get addicted to it and you move up and up and up.
Yep.
When I first started doing tournaments back in Ontario, the old Top Ass.
Oh, Top Ass.
Yep. And then moved up to the CSFL. I started with a 16-foot aluminum, built my own casting platform, my own live well with a 50 tiller.
There you go.
Dude, we would have competed against each other. And
well, like I said at the opening, or not the opening ceremonies, but the first captain's meeting that we had back on, sorry, my brain's all fried, Wednesday night or Wednesday afternoon. If I knew then what I know now.
Oh, yeah.
I fished against the Johnson brothers.
Oh, yeah.
I would have followed those boys around. I would have never left their engine cowling. You know what I mean?
Oh, you being in the military, I'd be on there 6.
That's right. That's right. I went from that 16-foot tin to my first Ranger. Well, I need bigger and better. Got rid of that. Moved up to a bigger Ranger.
That's a story.
And now it's like, oh, well, what's the electronics coming out this year? What can I afford to put on it this year?
It's a disease called 2-footitis. I need 2 more feet and 200 more horsepower.
That's right.
And I don't think it ever stops. I mean,
No.
every year I go into the winter thinking, okay, I always like to do like one little upgrade, like something.
Yep.
And I've been doing it for 35 years, so I'm running that Lund 2075 from Patterson's, and I've been doing this for a long time. And that was the very first boat that I've ever ordered new.
Right.
Never have I ever ordered a brand new boat for 35 years. So I tell the people, look, don't think about it. We all start the same way.
That's right.
Just because that guy's going around in that fancy Ranger, let me tell you, he remembers that, I'll tell you a little story on the Mactaquac. I left Mactaquac Head Pond down here in a tournament in a 30-horsepower Mercury, and I ran to Woodstock.
Yes, sir.
And I had gas on the side of the water all the way up. I had to go up the night before and put it down on the shore, and we got all the way up the Woodstock, got on the island. I only had about 3 hours of fishing, but it's all it took. Never saw another boat. Turned around and started all the way back. And the boys, where'd you get all them fish? Oh, just up the river. But oh my God, me and my father-in-law Kenny Bowser, and that's just what it is.
And you know what? If you're really passionate about it and it's something that you get into, you figure out a way to do it. Because when I first got my first tin, I traded drywall work to get that boat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's tough. Like it's very similar. We don't want to take away from our family. They need you to be supportive and understanding. And so it's always the side hustle that gets you the toy.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
That's
so you're what are you doing? And I've been lucky that way as well. And like you said, drywall work or listen, hey, let me coach your garage or whatever I'm doing. It's just to feed that habit. And people go, man, it's a lot of money. And I go, yeah, it can be. That's why that side hustle is there. Yeah. And we still do it.
Oh, yeah, I still do it today. I still have a little side hustle that I do when I've got the time to do it, and it helps pay for, new baits for the year, a new rod or two. Oh, yeah. It's an addiction, but what other kind of addiction can you get these results?
Well, and the thing is at least it's not killing you.
True enough.
But it's also to me, it's a stress reliever. I'm a competitive person, so I love that adrenaline. But it gets me thinking about that. I work the same way. When I go to work, man, I want to win. Like I'm in sales, so you got to get those opportunities. You want to close them and win them.
That's right.
No difference. But listen, Mike, we really, really appreciate your help here in the tournament. This tournament as the tournament director. It takes a lot of volunteers, folks. Mike's been on the planning with this for a number of months and working behind the scenes. Emergencies are coming at the tournament directors every few minutes. We never know what it is.
They have not stopped moving. And I thought I burned the soles off my shoes until I seen Mike running around here. Holy smokes. Thank you, buddy.
As one of the, organizers, Joe, I'm sure you're happy. And, I'm proud to have guys like Mike here from the Maritimes helping out. This is our community. This is what we do. And we're going to continue this. Mike, keep it safe, man. Keep those guys out there.
Joe.
Thanks, buddy.
We really appreciate it. Folks, we are now 12 o'clock.
Spaceship Central's, Starship Central?
Starship Central, yeah.
Starship Central's kicking us off.
Yeah, well, Captain Kirk says it's time for lunch. So I'm going to go, are you Spock? What's that, Scotty? See you, Scotty.
That'd be Spock.
That'd be Spock?
I was a Star Wars guy, so I don't...
Okay, yeah. It's just old guys.
Yeah.
I'm showing my age when I'm going Scotty. But listen, folks, we're going to be back at 1 o'clock. We're going to take a little break. Need to, loosen up the vocal cords. We're going to be singing all afternoon.
Yeah.
And the weigh-in's on. Got to come up with some one-liners there, and we'll be back. So, folks, back at 1 o'clock, the Pan American Black Bass Championships. Tune in. This is going to be some finish. We've been watching it live online. I can't wait.
Who is going to pull it off?
Man, this is good.
the challenge. Jason, can you pass me that trophy just before we sign off?
Don't touch the trophy before you go. You should have seen. Moose was chasing anglers around trying to make them. Oh, look at that puppy right there.
This is the America's Cup.
Oh man,
this is what they're all here for. So everybody's facing off for the Pan American gold, silver, and bronze for the nations. There's an individual category, and the country that takes it all brings the cup home. I'm sure there's going to be some Miramichi Striper Cup beer drinking out of this thing tonight.
Yeah, that new Maritime Beer Company, man. I got to tell you, the Striper Cups beers have been popular. I don't know.
It doesn't hurt when you have 2 coolers full of them in the back of your truck all over the event.
Yeah, well, it's they give me a few, and I like to make sure I share them. And I've had the other stuff I've had in the back is Big Fiddle from Trent Jewett. We've had some shooter. You've had a couple.
Yeah,
we had some butterscotch ripple, we had some green apple. We had some rum and butter, and that stuff's dangerous. But folks, listen, we really appreciate your time in. We'll see you back here in 1 hour.
Ladies and gentlemen, get comfortable. It's going to be a lot of fun. Welcome to the Pan American Black Bass Championships here in beautiful New Brunswick.
Good break. It's been a great break. It's been a fantastic break. We met up with Guffey and Cooper. I'll get into that story in a second, but it's been unreal. I'd say the past hour, we've been sitting with Gussie and Coop, watching them catch fish after fish after fish. It's unbelievable how many fish are in this waterway. I lost count just after 95. Yeah. So Guffey, tell me more about your fishing. We are live, gentlemen.
Are we? Oh, we have been this whole time?
No, we just got live. We're back from the break.
Well, we just caught about 50 in the last 300 yards along here, but you know, we're chipping away. We haven't got a big kicker yet that we're kind of trying to fish for, but we're getting probably a better quality than we did fishing shallow yesterday. So just chipping away. We're right close to 14 pounds, so still quite a bit of time left. Yeah, a couple big ones and we'll be where we want to be today.
So in the past hour, I've watched you guys double up. Is there a technique that we don't know about?
Honestly, we never fished here along this stretch. We just pulled up a ways up there, and we kind of have a 10-minute rule. If we don't get into them within like 10 minutes, try another stretch. And we've literally just been catching them, every couple minutes for the last hour. Like, yeah, it's been fun.
We need a couple more hours. If we can get like 2 fluids for like 3.5 or 5 3.5, just that'd be nice.
I get it. I totally
I think like Jeff said, we caught like 50. Like, we keep plugging. If they keep catching them up this stretch, I think we can catch a couple big ones.
Absolutely. I've seen you on that motor for the past hour, left, right, up, down. I have never in my life seen someone do what you do with a trolling motor. It's amazing to see, bud. What are you looking for? Talk to us.
We're literally just going down this bank on the main stretch on the main river and just looking for any irregularities. Some of them are cruising, but like the bigger ones this week have come off something. So whether it's a stump, a boulder, a high spot, a jetty, anything. It doesn't like not one certain thing, just as long as it's irregular from everything else. But that one came, there's a boulder with like a little bit of brush wood mixed in.
Yeah, like dream right where one should have been.
Oh, it's fun though.
I'm sure Jeff's back in the studio just super excited that you guys are giving him all these wicked tracks on his graph.
For what he's done for us this week.
Yeah.
There you go. Honestly, guys, the past hour we ran around searching for boats and be careful. We ran around searching for boats and we bumped into these guys and it's been non-stop, fish after fish after fish. I'm sure we got a lot of that footage that we're going to be putting up here shortly. There's another one. Oh yeah, those are the best. Those are the best. Because he looks back at the camera and smiles. I love it. That's what it's all about right there. Okay, so you were saying that this is the first time you guys have fished together in a boat. Now that you've had 2 days, what are your thoughts, Jeff?
No, we're having fun. I mean, we've been buddies for a long time, and we, you know, yeah, it worked out that we're able to be included on Team Canada. And we've had a great experience this week for sure. It's been awesome. Really glad that we came, and you know, just trying to get my crazy glue to work here so I can glue my Ned rig on. But you know, it's yeah, it's been a great week.
What do you think of Cooper's techniques?
Cooper's good at bassing.
Cooper, how do you feel about fishing with Jeff?
Love it, man. First time fishing, like Jeff said, we've known each other for quite a while now, and first time in the boat together. It's pretty cool, man. Like, I grew up looking up to Gus, you know?
You still do, you're short.
Oh, 100%. But no, it's amazing. It's cool to be in the boat with him and catch some bass.
That's awesome, boys.
Is nearby and they can bring us out some crazy glue. That would be awesome.
There you go, guys. That's the secret, crazy glue. Do you think it affects the scent, they say?
No.
There you go. There you go. You heard it here from the pros, Cooper Glant, Jeff Gustafson, and Gustafson, Jeff. Jeff, get that right. It's Gustafson. We had a good chuckle. So from Guffey, yeah. So from Coop, Moose, and Guffey, we're out.
Okay, let's see that we're back on the desk. There's watching Coop and Gus in the Team Canada boat there, provided by the Striper Cup and Patterson Marine. Hey, gotta get
shameless plug.
Oh, shameless. I said to Coop, he's not really big.
Hey, you put up $100,000 Lund and you put up $7,000 worth of lobster, you're gonna get plugged.
You're getting plugged, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Look at this.
It's crazy. We're here. We're back live. This is awesome.
I think Scott's having fun.
Scotty Martin, yeah, man.
I talked to Scott this morning, and he was just so impressed with everything going on and how big this is getting, and he's just an awesome guy, like just a great ambassador, and he's.
It's amazing what he does for the sport. You know, from
truly is
youth fishing all the way up. I mean, he's got old guys like me that follow him. You know, they chase after him, wanting autographs. You know, whatever you. It's amazing what you can learn from these guys just watching.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And have you seen his daughter, Hillary, what she's doing now at Dakota Lithium and the college fishing team? Like, she's going to be the next big thing, I promise. And she's so well-spoken, and she's such a great ambassador. I mean, this business that we're a part of, that we are representing, like, the anglers are the product.
Yeah.
The anglers are the ones that make this possible. And if we don't continue to create events where we get to showcase the best of the best, we're not going to build the sport.
Right.
Look at these guys.
Oh, man, they're putting it on. They're putting it on.
That was Joey.
What a net job.
Mark, the first.
Joey said that Joshua caught all the fish yesterday. That's all he did was net. So right there, it just shows him netting another one.
He threw me for a loop this morning when I asked him if we could put a volunteer in his boat to live stream. He's like, "That's where I sit, on the back deck." And he had such a stone cold, serious look on his face. I was pretty sure he was jacking with me, but he cracked a smile, and it was all good. And because of that, like, you know, unfortunately, there's some anglers that don't want that. They want to just do their thing. They don't want distractions. They want to be out and focus, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But at this level and this caliber, these guys understand what's at stake, and you know, without their involvement and without their, you know, their willingness to be showcased,
exactly,
we don't have a product.
That's you know, that's what I was saying. Like I'd be like somewhat, you know, taken aback by having people on the boat and stuff. Like, especially with these guys are leading,
right?
You know, and so I gotta say, like, you know, so accommodating, friendly. You know, all I want to know really, and this is it, is how am I going to get one of them? One of the U.S. bass teams.
You just got to talk to the right guy.
Yeah? Who would that be?
I know somebody.
Okay.
I think I've got, after I handed out all of them to our
Yeah?
our
Oh, yeah,
team,
but they make them every day.
I think I have 2 left.
Okay. I got a striper cup hat. I bet you never had a striper hat. All right, man. He only got 1 left now.
I asked Tony for one in, might have been Florida, and he said no. And I got to talk to him on the phone and be like, Tony, you said no to a hat once. I'm going to hold you to that.
Yeah. See, but I got in. I got in when there was only 2 left. Now there's only 1 left.
Well, you know, the reality is when we build these teams up, there's a lot of expenses that go into clothing these guys and jerseys and apparels. And you know, us at Canada, we've been on a shoestring budget. Most of us have paid out of our pocket to be a part of this and represent for as many years as we've been doing it. And it's there's a massive financial commitment to being a tournament angler. And
you're right.
When you ask a bunch of guys to go compete for their nation and there's no money involved, it's
pride, baby.
It's a different look.
But you know the format that we have here, okay, and you know you're a tournament guy, you know, you want to keep all your stuff secret, okay. You don't want to give up that secret bait and you know that waypoint. Or you don't want anybody to see you fishing it. This is a totally different format. We had a practice, and you know, guys were pre-practice, so we had a team dinner, and you're talking about Joey Cifuentes' sense of humor. Well, you know, we had all talked, and then at dinner, Nick Hatfield says, "Well, I had a 3.5 on this point and then a 3 here." And Joey's like, why are you holding back? And he's like, this is different format. You're not supposed to keep secrets here.
Yeah.
You know, team players.
Yep.
And from then on, it's like all the guys clicked.
Yep.
And they're having a blast. Fishing with each other, sharing information. This is a body of water that they probably won't compete on professionally. They may. I mean, this is a beautiful place up here.
Who knows?
And the fish are phenomenal.
Mark, there's a lot of buzz around this area right now about, you know, a championship level open. They have the Destination Nakwik event already with a huge payout. Maritime Fox is increasing that every year.
Yeah. It's coming.
The future looks good.
You know, I got to say I agree with that. I'm blessed to get to sit in on the Team Canada conversation, and just to watch that camaraderie. These guys go head to head for a paycheck,
right?
Outside of this, and in this day, they are swapping war stories, right? And so I look at that and I'm like, man, I mean, it's fun. I just find that the whole atmosphere, the anglers, it has a totally different context to it, what have you. And, man, if we could replicate that kind of, like I'm literally in my brain thinking, we got to do some team events up here, like where you pick 4 or 5 boats and you set up your own team. And it might be Team Nakwik versus Team Woodstock versus Team Fredericton, Team Nova Scotia, Team PEI. Right. You know, the problem is I think there's there's some potential there that
it's a lot of it is that's Tony Forte calling me. He probably heard Joey talking about, you better give Joey that other hat.
Oh my God, that's it. He's probably watching live, and he goes, give him the damn hat.
You know, back to the Team Canada meeting, Cooper's very humble. He's a very soft-spoken. He said something to the team that I thought was very powerful at the time, and he said, guys, the guys we're fishing against, I guarantee you, in their minds, they know they can do better. Even as good as USA did, be dang sure those guys are going to catch them better tomorrow. And he told the team that, and it was super powerful, and he said, no matter what happens tomorrow, guys, we have to catch them better. Like, there's no...
Don't think they're going to stumble and fall. That's not happening.
Yeah, that's right.
And I mean, what was that? One of the teams had 13 and change in
Yeah, and Tyler Williams and Trey McKinney, they've got over 18 pounds today.
Yeah, man, and
so they were leading it yesterday.
Yeah. I want to see that 20. I want to see that 20 up here.
We were doing all the live the live broadcast before this is a pump up every Tuesday and Thursday nights. We were talking on live podcast on Canada Bass, trying to get everybody pumped up, and we were all calling predictions. Yeah. And so all the boys, 22 pounds, 21 pounds. My prediction was 19 pounds. I said 19 pounds a day, you own it.
Right.
Let's see, because Williams came in yesterday with 18 and change, so he's bang on. Right. He's over 18 today. Like I'm thinking, let's see. You know those unofficial leaderboards. We actually, you know what? We actually have an interview.
Starship Galactica?
Starship says we got Tyler on a quick interview.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Let's bring him on, and we'll be quiet and let the man himself tell the story. No problem.
Okay, Tyler Williams and Trey McKinney, you guys are leading this deal so far, and your team is right there too. I guess you strategized. What did you get? 18 pounds yesterday?
Yeah, 18 3/4.
That's a really good weight for this river. I mean, were you fishing smallmouth?
Yeah, smallmouth. He let me try largemouth once we got the last big one, but we didn't catch any largemouth.
So I was talking to Wheeler earlier. He kind of laid off yesterday. So you guys already got a strategy and a game plan going. You got your 4 weights over 15 pounds. Was that the whole plan yesterday?
Yeah, that's probably the plan again today. We kind of we hit 17 and we're like, okay, let's go check some stretches for tomorrow and see if they're good. And then we caught a couple 3/8s and I was like, all right, I think we're good for today. So hopefully they bite today and we'll see what happens.
Were you fishing deep or shallow?
Pretty deep, deeper than most.
Is that right? You drop shotting and scoping them?
Yeah, for the most part. Sometimes you just randomly, you'll throw out and there'll be one. You didn't even see it or anything. It just comes out of nowhere.
So what made you go deep? Are you marking bait out there or?
I wanted, because I fished the rivers back home and they're very similar, and I wanted to find something that people didn't know about here. Or something to myself. A lot of people had guides and people showing them around. I'm like, all right, what can I have to myself? And went and tried to find that.
You know what? That's a great strategy. There has never been, that I know of, a 20-pound sack in here. Do you think you can get 20 pounds today?
It's going to be hard. It's going to take some luck. If you can get a 5-pounder, maybe 2 5s, that you could probably get it.
Well, there you go, guys. Tyler, good luck today, man. Go get them. Have fun. Team USA, they got it down. They got a strategy going. These guys are the ones to beat. Great bag yesterday, almost 18 pounds. They're really...
Man, we got a Canadian team on there.
Yeah.
Looks like they're
Jason Hines, Rick Cool.
Yeah, it looks like they got something on the. They're putting it on the scale anyway. I would like to know how many 2-pound bass have been thrown on a scale this weekend. What?
17,000.
17,000 out of 57 billion.
It'll be it'll be 18,000 by 3 o'clock.
But I mean, I go through this when I fish up in the tournaments here. We just go as soon as we get something in the high deuces. We don't even want to just stop weighing them until we get a 3. Because you can't win anything with 2s, so But it's crazy the amount of fish, and one thing that we are seeing as we watch the live leaderboard here is we're going to change a lot of anglers' opinion on this water. Because the opinion has been, which you'll see a lot of boat marshals have taken people up to Heartland. And up they go. And I think they go up to Heartland because it's an easy fish. You're going to get 13 pounds guaranteed with your eyes closed. But
there's a deep bite.
Yeah.
There is a deep bite that is very underutilized here. And we heard Tyler Williams talking about it. When I practiced with the team, I found them in 38 feet of water and big.
Yeah.
Whether they stay there or they're relating to bait, they're moving around, but
that's where,
they are.
From what I understand, talking to some of the locals around here that fish.
Joey just caught a big one. Or Joshua caught it.
Holy smokes.
Joey netted it. That's a big one. Wow.
Oh, that's a long...
I think that'll call.
What? Yeah, that'll call.
Oh, buddy.
That'll call. Oh, man.
If they put that back in the water, I might just pack my truck up and go home. What were you saying there, Mark?
I don't remember.
You've been distracted like this all day watching this.
Oh, yeah.
You've got the best seat in the house.
Yeah. Well, this is a great place to watch this thing.
It is. It's great.
Yeah. And
the sad thing is, like when Bassmaster or the BBT go to a certain body of water, and they show the potential of that water.
Yeah.
This is going to bring a lot of anglers right here to Fredericton and Big Axe Marine. I got to go catch some big fish.
They're good.
Without question.
Like those.
Let's see what the cull looks like. Look at this. He is culling it out.
And what we talked about earlier.
Oh man.
You could be a recreational angler coming here just for the fact that you're used to not catching fish on your
he's
local
balance
lake.
beaming that sucker. He's going to balance beam him. So that must mean there's some close. Uh-oh. Oh, balance beaming 3-pounders. There's nothing better. That's a great feeling.
Wow.
Which 3-pounder do we keep? Don't know what to do. Yeah.
Well, that Bubba scale is really good, but it can be off by just a fraction. So if you got two of them, a 3-pounder, 3-1.
What do we got? What's that say?
4 something.
Uh-oh.
What is that, 401?
They are balance beaming 401.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh. Man, that is
I just got to hand it to my team. And the thing is we got Scott. We're watching Scott, Joey, Trey, and them were on there bouncing around. But, all these guys get along so well with each other, and they're having fun out there. That's the difference of this format.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah, this is.
We've managed to put the team in this sport.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. It's a
There's
phenomenal
no I in
product.
team.
That's right.
Yeah, it's just it's something fun to see.
I would love to see this.
There's his secret bait.
Yeah.
I'd like to see this.
Looks like a flatworm to me.
It is.
In a big money format. I'd like to see teams work together for a big purse.
Yeah, and that's the thing that to get these guys to come and fish for the countries. As much as Canada and for the U.S. They're not getting paid a dime.
No.
And it's like we rely on our sponsors' money to, to get our teams here and to operate. And because we're a nonprofit organization, I'm sure you are.
We are. Yep.
And so but to get these guys to come do that and have fun.
Yeah.
They got money out of their own pockets.
Yeah.
It's a total different type of fishing than what they're used to.
Yep.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm really thrilled that I'm part of it. I got the front row seat of one of the best things in the world. This is and funny when it was going on and Joey asked me to get involved, and I just I had no idea. And I'm meeting some great people and building some friendships, and just this is awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hopefully I got enough energy for the weigh-in, you know what I mean? We gotta keep that going.
I tried to have a siesta between broadcasts right here in my comfortable Yeti camp chair.
Yeah, back her off. Yeah, just a little blankie and a soother.
I had about seven or eight people come up to me with questions, and this is going on and that's going on.
It's crazy, but this is so. When's the next time the U.S.?
Okay, so this is a Pan American Championships. Next month in October, the team will fly to Italy and compete in the World Championships. We won it last year in Portugal. First time U.S. has won gold in European soil. So now we've got to go to Italy to defend that. And the people we're taking is Jacob Wheeler, Dustin Connell, Scott Martin, Scott Canterbury, Joey Cifuentes, and Fred Robanis.
Okay.
Oh, Boom Boom's going.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's
Boom Boom's one of my good friends. I love that guy. And he's just.
And that's the thing is, the kids out there need to know. These guys are very approachable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't care. I mean, as long as you're not going to be a jerk.
Yep.
But you come up, want to talk fishing, want to autograph, they'll take their time for you.
Yep.
They'll talk fishing for hours. So, they do it with each other.
Yeah.
So they'll do it with the kids or, anyone else too.
That's so true. The guys here in New Brunswick have been bombarded with autographs and questions and just
pictures.
It's such a spectacle for the community that doesn't get a chance to see these guys in person really ever. And these guys are so welcoming. They're the greatest ambassadors in sport. I've lost count of how many acts of kindness I've seen amongst these anglers, talking to the crowd, talking to kids, signing hats, and it's super cool. I met Freddie, 9 years ago. My son was 6 months old, and I was at Lake Fork Marina, and the Legend Bass Boat Tournament was going on, and Freddie was with Legend Boats at the time, and I asked Freddie, I looked up to Freddie when I got into fishing. I remember thinking, this guy is one of the coolest, most laid-back dudes in all of fishing. If I were to model myself after somebody in my sport, I want to be as laid-back and cool as Fred Romanis. So I got a picture with my son in Freddie's boat on Freddie's knee, and he's got a little plastic fishing rod from the bathtub.
That's cool.
So years later, I'm on Team Canada. We're at the World Championships in Mexico, and Watson and Freddie, and we watched Team USA roll in with all their boats, and Chuy Morales had set up an armored convoy to get them to China. And they pull in, they had Canada and US in the same lodge together, and we were all sitting there with coolers of cervezas and our rods and lying out and rigging up tackle and just hanging out on the patio. And Freddie and Watson rolled right up to us. They got out of the truck, came straight beeline to us. Freddie's like, "Who's Joe Ford?" I was like, "Right here, Freddie. How you doing, bud? Nice to meet you." And he said, "Yeah, your fishing partner, Brian Bickle, my tournament partner, my Team Canada partner is Brian Bickle. He played for the Chicago Blackhawks. He won 3 Stanley Cups." We were sitting there hanging out, and he goes, "Yeah, Brian told me to reach out, say hi." And they sat down with us. They didn't even unpack their trucks and sat down with us and had some Coronas. And they were there for a couple hours, just shooting the breeze, telling stories. And we hung out with Freddie and James, and they caught them really good on that lake, El Cachillo. Yeah. Just smashed their faces in. It was so much fun to watch. I wish I would have brought my own boat down and got on that convoy at McAllen, Texas. So fast forward to Arkansas last year. I've been looking for this picture of Freddie, and we've become really good friends. We talk a lot, and I'm looking for this picture of my son and Freddie from 9 years ago in Lake Fork, and I found it, and I showed Fred's wife, Julie, and brought a tear to her eye. I was like, that guy's meant a lot to my fishing career, and I was that starstruck dude fishing local tournaments, looking up to these guys, wondering, will I ever get there one day and get to fish against these guys? And this whole international concept that we're building and that is blowing up has given us anglers an opportunity to compete against the guys that we read about in Bassmaster Magazine or FLW Magazine and see on TV, and those heroes of the sport.
Here's the boys going into Kelly's Creek.
Wow.
Yeah. That, there's been some boys in there, and that water was so low that they couldn't get out. They got trapped in there, and they come out, and they had to lay on their back on the boat, put their power pole, lay it back down, and crawl along the outlet to get out. And I said, if you ever got trapped in there, we'd never find you. No one would look in there. If the water came up normal, you'd just be a boat underwater in the thing. But they're moving into Kelly's Creek there this afternoon. Puerto Rico team must have heard a rumor or two.
Yeah. Well, is it Doug that you got right there?
Oh, Donnie.
Donnie was telling me this morning that the wind was blowing so hard one time. I think it was Donnie that he had to go through that pipe on the pad.
Oh, really?
Because of the just because of the waves and the wind blowing.
Really?
He couldn't do it, and the trolling motor beat his boat up.
Oh, man.
And he went through that pipe on pad.
Wow.
Now, that was an impressive story.
My God. I've gone through some sketchy boat canals on pad on Okeechobee, like in 6-8 inches of water, just skimming it. But I've had some low tide scenarios on Chesapeake Bay where I've had to zigzag.
That's Tyler's. They're pulling. They just pulled. That's a cull. They were sitting at 18 pounds. They're culling one out. Getting rid of it.
I don't even know what to say by this performance on the St. John River. This is.
But look, they just balance beam. The other guy's balance beamed a 4-pounder. Now this guy, who's sitting, we think well over 18 pounds, and they're getting rid of one. They just put one in the locker there, and Deere knows what this one was. A nice looking fish.
This is
336. They're out of the boat, culling it, throwing it away.
All right, we can do that right away.
I guess we've. Okay.
Spaceship's calling.
Spaceship's
I think we're going to go to Ron in a minute.
We're going to go talk to Joey, and the boys are on it. So we'll come up here in a second. Just let us know when that happens. There, Starship or Enterprises.
Starship Rent-A-Prize.
Rent-A-Prize. Oh man, this is fantastic, and I want to see a big bag badly because it just shows what the opportunity
potential of this. And you know what the thing is there's a lot of small fish in there, 10 12-inch fish. I know they'll get eaten, but some of them, but even in 5 years, you think a 17 19 pound bag is big now. 5 more years, it's going to be a 23 to 25 pound bag.
Really?
Because these things do nothing but grow.
Well, listen, Mark, it's a real pleasure to meet the team captain, I guess, or president.
I appreciate
the man himself.
To come up here.
The best thing that happened in this interview was I got myself a U.S. Bass Team hat.
You do.
And you got yourself a Striper Cup hat. I don't know if it's fair. Thank you so much, Mark.
I know. I should get 2.
Yeah. We're gonna cut off to Ron. He's out in the boat with Pat, the belly rum drinking trailer park boy. When you're ready.
Cheeseburger eating.
We are live again, Mr. Roach.
It's awesome. Mr. James.
We just hooked up with Joey Sequentes and Joshua Weaver, and they said they had about 15 pounds.
Wow, I know. That's an amazing number.
You know what? I never expected. They're in a back bay. We're in a back bay here. And you get out in the main river, and it's windy, isn't it?
It is. There was even white caps on some of those waves.
Right. So you wouldn't think that you would think the small would like that.
Well, or at least be in the cove where the waves are going. I hear that the waves bring the food in that direction. Am I right?
You are right.
Okay,
yeah,
right.
I mean, hey, bud.
I don't know who.
What, you been hanging around with pros all week or what?
I think that was my father or my uncle or something.
Oh.
Little tricks. Right?
Oh, I thought maybe you were knocking on hotel room doors, getting all kinds of info.
No. I haven't been doing that.
No, these guys were right in there yesterday. I think they were in the top 5 for sure, right? And now with 15 pounds, I think the U.S. is going to be tough to beat.
Oh, yeah, they're doing well on this one, aren't they, Ron?
Yeah, and we've caught on several boats. We ran into several boats that have been having a tough time.
Yeah, they were saying it was a lot slower today compared to yesterday.
Right. What do you think that is? The conditions?
I'm not sure if it's just too wavy. That's a possibility. I mean, I don't seem to catch much when it's too wavy. I always find the coves where it's a little to get out of the wind a bit.
I don't even like fishing in the wind anymore.
Well, it's windy.
Yeah. So they seem to find this back cove. I noticed when we were coming in here, it was like 40 to 50 feet of water. I would never expect that.
No, deep spot on the river. You know,
and just a little cove coming in here, and then it opens up, and there's weed patches everywhere in here. And I think that's what they're doing is they're circling around, fishing the edge of the weeds, and then marking these. They're scoping. I noticed that they're scoping fish.
Okay.
Looking for their individual fish, and they seem to be plucking off. And they said they got about 15 pounds now. They're busy, so we didn't want to bother them.
That's right.
We thought, just sit here and watch them and see what they're doing. And they just on the trolling motor constantly. You notice that?
Yes. Yeah,
looking.
They're moving, looking at the screens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you think they should make those screens like this high?
Yeah, or just a collapsible, or just something you can lift it up.
Like right eye level.
That would be something.
I think it's going to come out.
Yeah.
Maybe you and I, we should invent that.
That
go
would
with
be
it.
a good one. Call it the Pat Ron. Pat Ron arm or something.
The right arm Pat Ron.
Yeah, we could do that.
Well, the weigh-in's going to start soon.
Yes.
You think we should go bust back there and get loaded up and see who's going to win this thing? It's going to be exciting.
It is. Day 2 of competition.
This is the final. So we want everybody to show up for the weigh-in. You're going to be there.
I'm going to be there. That's right.
Can they come and see you?
They can come see me. They can come see you, and then come see all the fishermen.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what? Come to the weigh-in, Nakawik, right here in beautiful New Brunswick. It's going to be exciting. There's lots of prizes to give away. We will see you there. Back to you guys in the studio.
A backup trolling motor that I had for Lake Ontario. Welcome back, guys. Catching up with Team USA. I'm just gonna hit spot lock on my trolling motor here. I'm all over the place, so I'm gonna come back here and we're gonna chat. We're professional, but sometimes things go all over the place, right? How are you? How's your day? How's your morning? How was your weekend?
Oh, the week has been awesome. We couldn't ask for anything better. You guys have really done well running the tournament. The hospitality here of the Canadian folks has just been unbelievable. So we're really, really glad to be here.
Looks like we've got some audio issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, we are seeing some bags being caught here.
This Team
on
USA,
the St. John River.
It's such an amazing testament to how good these guys actually are. They're not
fishing different water, or
Well, actually, we fished some of the same water today that we fished yesterday, but it is different today. I think the fish have maybe moved out a little deeper than they were yesterday. And go from there.
Yeah, that's some of these spots are hard to get audio, but we're back on Team USA having a look. Had a great chat with Mark. He's the president of US Bass?
Well, he's the president of US Bass, and it started off US Bass, USA Bass. Tony Forte was the president, and then they grew to the USA Angling Confederation. So USA Bass is a product of USA Angling, and Mark is the president of the bass fishing team.
Okay.
So,
you know, super nice guy.
Kind of like what we're doing. Oh, he's salt of the earth.
Super nice guy.
I can't say enough good things about Mark. I've known Mark for several years now, and the way he manages their team and keeps the guys together, and it's a special group of guys that get to fish for USA.
You know, and like they got some, like just looking at the, you know, live leaderboard that's on the go for us, we're seeing it, and man, we should see some bags. Listen, folks, if you have an opportunity, get in your car, get down here to Nakawik. We got a draw going on for lots of great prizes. We got these fancy Yeti chairs, so we're gonna have a hot seat on the go for the adventure package.
Yeti Adventure Pack. It's basically a big patio we're gonna set up with a huge 75-quart Yeti cooler, 2 of these fancy camp chairs, some swag, some cups, a backpack, a whole bunch of stuff. So there'll be multiple winners out of the adventure pack, but there's going to be some prizes. You have to be here in person and stop by the Canada Bass booth, fill out a ballot, go see Linda and Marg and Elise and Kelly and get your ballot filled out. You have to be here to claim that prize, and the other prizes are going to go to you at home who like and share this feed right now and like the Canada Bass page. So like and follow, share it.
Yeah,
they might win.
They might win, and the sun is out. It's nice. We've got the Big Axe Brewery is here. Pizza Twice is set up.
People are starting to fill in right now.
We got some hot dogs and hamburgers, and we got lots of stuff on the go. tonight at the Delta, we're going to be awarding some medals. As,
hardware. The closing ceremonies at these events is, it's going to be really hard to beat the opening ceremonies because Fredericton put on such an amazing show.
Oh, yeah. Pat Olson and the team, they just did a great job down there. And
when the event closes and the anglers can breathe, there's so much celebration amongst the countries. Yeah. Anglers are taking their jerseys off and they're switching them with other countries and they're signing jerseys, and it's a huge tradition now in the Pan American and the Worlds, and it's just such an awesome celebration of fishing to see these guys come together. And we're going to have some dignitaries say some speeches, and we're going to have some fancy people get up and talk about the experience. And Chewy Morales, our friend, whenever he gets here, I'd love to get Chewy up on this. We're going to get him on Chewy,
yeah. And he offered to do some Spanish translation for me.
Maybe the Starship can beam Chewy here.
Well, Scotty does a pretty good job. But Scotty passed away a number of years ago.
Yeah,
and so Scotty can't beam up anybody, but he's probably chatting with them. But, it's when I look at this and I'm watching these guys fish, and for me, being a competitive angler for over 40 years on this water, I would have bet dimes to donuts that this wouldn't happen.
Hey, Moose is into an interview here. You guys want to cut over to Moose? You nailed it, Jeff. This is...
It's crazy.
It's got me rendered speechless.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be awesome.
There to be one of the surprises.
There you go.
That's what we're trying for.
There you go. Ladies, thank you very much, and all the best.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Take it away, boys.
Well, that was a quick interview.
Sorry, Moose. Yeah, we were talking about spaceships and goosebumps. And
yeah.
All the stuff going on.
So we're going to be on. We're on here till 2:00. We are going to continue showing some live.
There's people driving down here in side-by-sides now, Jeff.
Yeah, well,
there's a lot of people starting to fill in here for this weigh-in. Saturday, the sun's shining.
I wonder if we should keep this live rocking and rolling, going between all these Zoom things or something. Like, as long as we keep getting that package, maybe we should leave it going.
I think we should leave that going for the viewership if we can. Yeah. Starship said no.
Starship said the batteries are going dead.
The good thing is we have to build suspense. We got to cut this off. We don't want to give up too much, right? We don't know what's going to happen in the last hour of competition.
No, and you know what? Yesterday, Gussie told me that last hour was the witching hour. Like it
always is.
It's like they get some big fish, and
you are never out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, the Canadian boys now seem to be consistently sitting, in that 13 to 15 pound range. I haven't seen reports from our leaders, Chung and Gaffney. The USA team has got some pretty big bags for what we've seen, but it only takes 2 bites.
Yeah, and we're only guessing.
In a place with 62 billion smallmouth. Is
that more than there was this morning?
No, it's 62 billion, 62 Jeff.
Billion.
62 billion.
I'm getting poor with numbers. I never seen numbers this big.
Well, it's a miraculous place.
Yeah. And when we're, I'm looking out, the sun is shining, man. It's a proper day, a proper fall day here in New Brunswick. The temperature is probably a balmy 18 degrees Celsius. It's nice. The rain has gone away. We only had rain on really practice day, right? Yesterday was not bad at all. And so it's really come out. We got Tyler Williams is fishing in bare feet and flip and shorts. And so
he's he is a walk-in version of a Toby Keith song, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like he's just not a carefree dude, just laid back. He's going to catch them. I mean, and that's such a great attitude to have when you're competing in a stressful situation.
Oh,
you fish loose, you fish.
Yeah. And
I fished in the Team Canada qualifier with Brian Bickle, and I was nervous. I really wanted to make the team.
Barefoot Bandit, barefoot big bags.
Barefoot big bags. And Brian and I, we caught them really good. Brian on the first day caught all of our fish, and this was in Cornwall at the Team Canada qualifier. And Brian and I slipped into that alternate position again. And Bob Izumi said to me, he's like, "You're squeezing your rod too tight, Joe," because I didn't get a single bite on day one.
Wow.
And day 2, I woke up loose. I said, you know what, take a breath, buddy. You got this. I didn't take my feet off because it was in October and it was really cold. But we caught him really good on day 2.
Joe, tell me about this. You've got, how does someone watching us today try and qualify for Team Canada?
Man, you got to be a tournament guy, and we've kind of structured the team in a way that, we are invested in the angler's future, right? And to do that, we want to make sure the anglers that are working the hardest to build their brands and compete and practicing, and those are the guys that, deserve a chance to fight for a spot on Team Canada. So we've changed our qualification process to an invitation format. So if you compete in a recognizable tournament trail in Canada, and I've got some, there's a couple shout outs here, and this actually falls right in line with that, but there's some great tournament trails around. Obviously in New Brunswick, you got the NB Bass Tour and you've got the NBSFA. In Ontario, you've got the CSFL and the Cup Series, the Canadian Pro Tour, and that's run by Andy Pilata and Vita Pilata. And the Pilata family has been running tournaments for 30 years plus, and they've got, a great big huge trade show, and they live and breathe. They've been doing it for a long time, and that's where most of us fish. Bob Izumi and Corey and Chris Johnson broke out in their series and pretty much took all of our money for, every event they're at. But if you are an angler, part of a team that fishes in one of those tournament trails, there's a good chance if you work hard enough and fall into that top 10 category in your division in Team of the Year, you will earn an invitation from Canada Bass to come to the Canada Bass qualifier. This year it's held on November 1st and 2nd on the beautiful Bay of Quinte. We're going to take off out of the town of Trenton, and we are going to go chase down some big largemouth and big smallmouth, and we're going to try to make up the best suited team to represent Canada next year in Mexico.
Okay, so you're telling me, so you get your top 10 or top performer, you get invited, go to Bay of Quinte. Is it 2-day, 1 day?
It's a 2-day tournament, the qualifier, because we want to fall in line with the Pan American format, which is a 2-day tournament.
Yeah.
So, qualify. Now, Canada Bass does reserve the right to name the top 2 teams. Just like Hockey Canada, they will name the Sidney Crosbys and the Steve Stamkoses.
Sure, man.
For all the obvious reasons, because in any sport, there is guys that are just better.
Yeah.
There's guys that just stand above the rest. And I think those guys are the guys you need. I know when I compete in this team format and I'm sitting beside a guy like David Chong or I'm sitting beside a guy like Bob Izumi, it makes me want to fish better.
Yeah.
And I'm a hockey player. I grew up playing hockey, and I knew that my centerman was the best guy on the ice, and that made me a better hockey player.
That's always the way I played competitive. Everything I've ever played competitive, that you put that's what true competitors do. They put themselves in a position to force them to be better, to do the job.
That's right.
And that's what all the best do. And that's so you get invited. Okay, I get invited. I get up there. What do I got to get? Top 5?
Well, in the Pan American, we send 8 teams. Right. So the top 8 teams get to go.
Okay.
So we name the top 2. So
top
spot 3 through 8 get to go. Now, just because you showed up at the qualifier and didn't make the team doesn't necessarily mean you're out of the running. There's a lot of scenarios where if a team drops down, we use everybody that competed at that event as part of a ranking system. So if you finished in 10th, 11th, or 12th, you're still in the game. And if somebody drops out of the team for whatever the reasons are, maybe it's a family emergency or something comes up and they can't make the event in Mexico, we go down the ranking list. So you become a member of CISA, which is another great point. We now have a public membership.
Okay.
You can join Canada Bass right now, and we're going to be live after this event on the website. You can sign a membership here. We have a partnership with Outdoor Canada Magazine. You'll get a magazine subscription for the year. You'll get some Canada Bass swag, some vehicle decals, because what we're trying to accomplish right now is bigger than just our local tournament trails. Sure. We want a nationally recognized membership drive that grows where the focus is on the anglers.
That's
Jeff,
cool.
I can't stress this enough. we need to make fishing cool again.
Oh,
it's happening here in the Maritimes. It's happening in New Brunswick. It's happening internationally. It's happening all over.
We can cue some of those interview blocks. Yeah, that is a cool thing. I Bay of Quinte, that never seen that water before. But I hear it's awesome.
We had our qualifier for this event on the Bay of Quinte last year, and Brian and I and Pete Garnier and Dave Chong, we sat side by side on a weed bed that was probably the size of this stage, and caught 70 largemouth each for like a 20-pound bag.
Yes, sir. So it's a largemouth fishery primarily.
We were flipping a jig into the milfoil. And if you hopped it, you didn't get a bite. If you just let it sit there, you'd feel your line jump. Pop.
Yes, sir.
Whack 'em.
Well, and I think you said there's some guys being invited from the local tournament trails, that kind of stuff, like some invitations, like some top 10s or anglers of the year.
We've sent invitations to all of the top 10 from this past spring's Destination Nakiwik tournament. So all the teams that finished in the top 10 in New Brunswick get a chance to come to Ontario and fight for a spot on Team Canada. I think there's 6 or 7 teams that are going to make the trip because of how cool this is.
Yeah.
We've also extended invitations to the guys that are fishing in the States at an open professional level, meaning the Bassmaster Opens, the MLF Toyota Series. Those are the guys that are fighting their guts out for a career in professional bass fishing. And those are the guys that are, from our perspective, those are the guys that are working the hardest to live that dream. And that's the quality of angler that I truly believe should represent Canada.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you know, it's a big thing. We're going to have lots of questions about this. We're going to go to a couple of interviews from this morning to see what some of the anglers had to say. We got about 5 minutes of that. So when the Starship Enterprises is ready, we will go to some of those interviews from this morning's launching.
Yeah, good morning. Edgar Quiñones from Team Puerto Rico. This is our second day of tournament. First day we did our limit, catch small fish, so 2 pounds average. Today our thoughts is we got to go get bigger fish. We love the weigh-in process, very organized. So today we got to get out there and go and do it. We have to get bigger fish. So we'll be heading south to see if we have better luck today. Great tournament.
One of the last boats to put in. What's going on here, Bob?
I'd rather be last launching than first because, hey, I'm not in a big hurry. We're second flight, so we don't launch or take off till 8 o'clock today, Ron.
So you want to be first at the end of the day. Now, listen, you've got some great sticks on your team. Team captain, you are of Canada. You're sitting in second place. Talk to a bunch of the U.S. guys. They're working good as a team. I talked to your guys. You guys are working good as a team. What's the strategy today? You fishing smallmouth? You're going to make long runs?
It's same as yesterday as far as about 4 boats are going right, 4 boats are going left from Nakiwik here. And, you know, we've got a bit of a deficit to pick up, you know, with Team USA. I believe it's just a hair over 5 pounds. That's pretty big, you know, for the best 4 teams on our Team Canada. You know, our best 4 teams have to have a pretty big average today to make that deficit up. Mm-hmm. And maybe Team USA has to falter a little bit and have their weights down a bit. But man, you got guys that do it for a living on Team USA, and we got 2 guys on our team that do it full time. Coop and Gussie, and the rest of us have other responsibilities in life and other jobs. But you know what? It's awesome. I'm so excited to fish today. I just we got to work hard and grind it out and see where the chips fall. But I'm not sure what to say on expectations because they could flip-flop so easy on weights. A team could have 12 pounds yesterday and 18 today or 16 today. So this is the nature of this river. It's, you know, talking to Adam Foster, my partner, he says, Bob, it's very hard to be consistent with 2 giant weights 2 days in a row. So I'm hoping there is some flip-flopping today, and it's more for Team Canada on the good side.
Well, you've got the right guy in the boat. Adam just won a tournament here last week or the week before. He knows the river really well. He's one of your teams that you really count on. Of course, Gussie and Coop and the rest of the guys. Chonger and all that. If somebody gets on a school of fish, are they going to make a phone call so everybody gets in there or blocks them or catches them?
We're all on a group chat, and we are communicating, but there hasn't been a lot. Yesterday, there wasn't a lot of come on in and fish this area because everybody was catching fish. So nobody really needed to. Our strategy, I'm not sure what all of our Team Canada strategy is because we're all fishing different areas, different patterns, but our strategy is very simple. We're going to one area and we're staying there all day today. Okay. We're going to keep our baits wet rather than running around. Yesterday we spent the last few hours hitting some other spots and didn't upgrade any. So today we're going to roll the dice in a conservative way because Adam knows the big fish live in the area we're fishing. We're just going to fish a number of spots within the spot and that we're not fishing one exact spot. We're going to be moving around, but it's not like we're moving 10 miles down the river or 15 miles this way. We're staying in an area.
What a game plan. Put your head down, keep the baits wet. Team Canada is just a shy out of first place. They got a great team. Hopefully you guys can pull it off today. Bob, good luck out there, pal.
Thank you, Ron. Good seeing you, man. You have a good day.
Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Ray Heredia, Puerto Rico Sport Fishing Federation. My partner George Maldonado. Yesterday was a rough day for us. We only fished for 3 hours because I had boat issues, but we're weighing 11 pounds, so we're still in it to the hunt. Today's a new day. The rest of our team did really well. They all limited out, came in. So Puerto Rico is here to put our footprint down to show we're here, we can fish, and we're going to continue doing it all day. Day 2 is a new day, so we're going to go out here and hammer hard, go to it. Thank you.
Okay, Tyler Williams and Trey McKinney, you guys are leading this deal.
Wow. We're back. Oh, my jumping. So we got 4 minutes left. So
Ray Heredia is just such an awesome guy. You couldn't wipe the smile off his face, even with boat problems yesterday. He didn't have a care in the world. He went out fishing, like just an awesome dude. I'm so glad he's here. And Ray, you guys are leaving a footprint, I promise. Puerto Rico is the real deal.
So we've got a new link on Facebook and YouTube for the weigh-in, starting at 3 o'clock. We have to break. Pardon?
What's going to happen?
Oh, I don't know. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, we're gonna the America's Cup's going to get given to somebody.
So we got to tear this. We got to tear this down. We got to get rid of this desk. We got to get ready. I got to get some throat lubrication.
I'm going to have a nap.
So that we can start yelling and hollering and jumping up and down when we see. No, sorry, Jay, I won't jump up and down. My weighmaster, don't jump up and down. Anyways, so he just like seen his eyes almost come out of his head when that. Don't do that. Anyway, so we'll get things. It's going to be exciting. I'm sitting in my chair. I'm vibrating. Thank God these Yeti chairs are so comfortable. It's awesome. What do you think, Joe? Are you ready for the weigh-in?
You know what just dawned on me, Jeff? Our time on this stage together doing this is coming to an end.
Oh, man.
The event is going to close. The weigh-ins are going to happen. It's exciting. I have had so much fun with you doing this, buddy. I don't know if I was even supposed to be here doing this broadcast, and I'm so grateful I had this opportunity to work with you, man.
Yeah, man. It's likewise.
We brought Jeff on as the master of ceremonies, and he has been a master at everything. I'm telling you.
Well, I appreciate that. Those are some kind words. I always wonder my wife always tells me sometimes I come home and I've completely run out of words. So I said, it's hard to believe, but I do get quiet every once in a while.
I can't see it.
Yeah. But listen, folks, it's been a blast. This is the first time in Canada we've had live, online coverage of a bass tournament. I think Aurora Productions has done a great job. This is an unbelievable opportunity. We'll see you guys back here in about 1 hour, and we'll be starting the weigh-in. Get your bets ready. Who's going to win? It's going to be crazy.
Somebody's coming in with over 20.
We'll see who the things. Ladies and gentlemen, back in an hour to the Pan American Black Bass Championship weigh-in, 1 hour. Thank you so.